It's Geelong and GWS in Canberra.
My fellow Australians, right now everyone wants to buy your vote. So we're back to show you how your democracy is being sold and bring you all the inside information of how the pollies are trying to spin it to win it. Join our panel of experts, insiders and me, your election guide, Will Anthony Green.
Ruin Nation. This Wednesday night from 8 on ABC TV or log in to stream on ABC iView. Spoken by Will Anderson and the voiceover guy who has to do this bit as fast as possible.
This is ABC Sports coverage of the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
We're gonna be kids.
Grandstand AFL
on ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
It's the Giants and Geelong in a cold Canberra. And there's a late change to speak of as well for the Cats. Reece Stanley, the late out. Zach Guthrie comes into the Geelong side. And Mitch Nevitt makes a chance of his debut. He's the medical sub, while Cooper Stevens will definitely debut for the Cats in the nation's capital. For the Giants, winners last week, and they relieved a fair bit of pressure on their coach, Liam Cameron, with a thumping 59-point victory over Adelaide. They're 2-5 GWS. And know if they're to play finals, they have to start getting a roll on. This is the start of 3 games at their home venues. Here at Manuka and then 2 at Giants Stadium. They'd be keen to defeat the Cats, who come off the back of a thrilling loss to Fremantle, going down by 3 points at Cardinia Park. Big game for both of these teams. 15th versus 7th. But can the Giants start to string some wins together? Clint Wilden with you alongside Ben Cameron in commentary. Our experts joined by Fremantle 300 gamer David Mundy and Brownlow medalist Shane Woden. Gentlemen, very short pre-game, but a bit to talk about. Stanley out, Guthrie in. Also of interest, of course, for GWS, or rather for GWS, how do you stop the likes of Tom Hawkins, who leads the Coleman medal race going into this round, and ably assisted alongside him by Jeremy Cameron, just 3 goals behind. A big task for the Giants today. What do you make of it all? Welcome.
Thank you. It's nice to be back with you boys on the radio. I reckon Bruce would be absolutely licking his chops now. He's going to be a really established ruckman. He's had a pretty good year so far, and coming up against the Geelong side, who are now almost without a ruck. Blickaz probably fill a bit of that role, but you mentioned the Geelong big fellas up the front, Hawkins and Cameron. It's going to be a big challenge for the GWS guys to get support and make sure that they're not isolated too much.
Yeah, thanks, Clint. Great to be here for another one. Look, again, all around the contest, isn't it? Early days particularly, and get some supply, get some territory early, and give those forwards a chance one-on-one and see what can be done. So around the board, really important. Some handy ins for both teams. So GWS just starting to, I think, find their groove a little bit, probably the last couple of weeks, probably a slow start. So they'll be looking to continue that on here on their home ground.
Interesting to hear you, David Mundy, endorsing Bruce's season so far. Obviously no hard feelings.
No, he's a big man. He's got a sharp elbow, but he did the crime. He's done his time.
Toss of the coin about to happen in the middle of Manuka Stadium. Kelly standing there for GWS, and it's been won by the Cats, pointing to the right of screen. So that's the cathedral end of Manuka. Kicking to the right of where we're broadcasting from on the broadcast wing. No one should have a better indication of how to go about beating Geelong than you, David Mundy, after last week. What are the real keys to be able to get over the top of Geelong?
Yeah, I mentioned it just before, and Roy brought it up, but Geelong are really good at supporting the contest this year. They bring some forwards up to really impact that ball and then really chain the ball through the corridor with a bit more speed than they have in the past. And on the back of that, drawing the defenders up and then isolating the Hawk and Cameron forward. And we know they're absolute superstars, so they don't need too much opportunity if they've got that much isolation, that much space to work in. So it's going to be, again, onto the GWS midfielders, I guess, to really balance out that contest and then use their runners on the outside and get the ball going their way.
Do they need to put some work into Tommy Stewart with what he does down back?
Yeah, we had a million against us last week, and he managed to influence the game pretty heavily, I thought. But moving the ball forward, being really precise with it. We know that he likes to sit back a little bit and be that kind of quarterback, set up the play for them. So yeah, it's a big one for GWS.
Certainly a big one for GWS with their finals hopes. It was Geelong who stopped their potentially surprise return to the finals last season, beating them at Perth Stadium by 35 points, but there was no Toby Green that day. He's back in the side for his third game of the season, and we're underway. Here's Ben Cameron.
Bruce and blitz halves going after the football. Parfitt, handball stolen by Taranto. Snaps GWS inside 50. Unable to take the mark there. It comes down at ground level. De Koning goes after it. Still tracking after it. Atkins for the Cats. Eventually Hogan for the Giants. Gets it off. A flying shot on goal coming from Ash is wide of the target. In fact, he's missed the lot. Out of bounds on the full. So Geelong to get it in their right back pocket. In fact, it is going to be a throw-in in the end. So a forward 50 stoppage here for GWS. The umpire spins it back in. Bruce works his way to the front, brings it down, but Dangerfield for Geelong. Bumped off his kick. It dribbles away. Trying to pick it up, O'Connor, but there to work it out, Atkins, who gives it back to O'Connor, who kicks Geelong towards the wing. And they're able to work it out down this broadcast wing. Now Stengel goes long for the Cats.
Chance over the top for close. How does it bounce? He's able to gather. Wonderful tackle. Hamilton wraps him up. Doesn't give away the free. Desperate stakes for GWS. That is an absolute goal saver. The bounce was there. He had to leap into the air close. The moment he hit back onto the turf, Hamilton got him. Great play from the young giant, just 18 years of age, and just his second game of AFL football. Cooper Hamilton showing a bit of pace himself. Giants work it around through Haynes. Has it in the left back pocket. This is an opportunity now for Kennedy to switch play. Out to Keefe, who's at right half back. The Giants down the outer side of Monica. Hill drops the mark he probably should have taken. Has time to gather though and send it towards right half forward. Green will put it into the right forward pocket. He's got too much on that. Blustery old conditions. Puts it out of bounds on the full. Frustration for Toby Green. No score. Opening 2 minutes. The Giants and the Cats at Monica on Grandstand AFL.
Stewart off a step, kicks towards fullback, and Kolajasny's able to mark for the Cats. He kicks to the right back pocket. Atkins can find it and move it long towards the wing. A good kick. And Blitzarves is out there for the Cats. Feeds a handball to Izzy Smith. Handball into the middle of the ground. Here's Guthrie. This is Cam. Handball to Duncan. Handball to Dangerfield. Cats down the broadcast wing now. Danger looks inside 50. Leading target. And onto the chest of Cameron, who against his former side marks deep in the right forward pocket. 9 times a leading goal kicker for GWS. Coleman medalist in 2019. The snap from 47 metres out is bending home. Jezza kicks the first goal against his former side, as he did the last time they met in the semi-final at Perth Stadium when Geelong won by 35 points. Geelong with the opening major, their 1 straight 6. GWS yet to score. We've played 3 minutes here on Grandstand AFL.
Seemed easy, move it from the back half, didn't they?
Yeah.
Got it out, got the overlap, chained it by hands rather than kick.
Yeah, GWS want to put a lot more pressure on the ball as it's coming forward than this. Basically uncontested chain from their D50. And again, plenty of space for Jeremy Cameron to work into.
Taylor was caught in 2 minds there. When he pressed, he just got caught in no man's land. If he had to go, really commit to it and try and delay, Blitzarves there.
It's a big snap too. 47 metres out across the body's a fair effort. Not easy to do.
20th goal of the season for Cameron. On the bounce, Bruce got his fingertips to it. Hit the centre circle, came back to him. He kicks the Giants towards centre half forward. Oh, Green crashing into the pack. He goes to ground. So too out of all that was Stewart, and they're away on the outer side here, the Cats. Parfitt with it. Inside forward 50 on the bounce. Taylor stuck the arms up, ricocheted away off him. And over for a boundary throw-in at left half forward for the Cats. 1 straight 6 Geelong. GWS yet to score. Green certainly being Tom Stewart, no. All about being crashed into. They both hit the deck very hard across half-back. It's thrown in again. Hawkins won it down. Looking to emerge with it, the Giants. So the hand pass goes straight to Tui. Gives it to Duncan. Hand pass to Hawkins. He's at left half forward. Kicks towards left, full forward. He's got too much on that kick. Out of bounds on the full. Free kick to the Giants in the right back pocket. Cats lead by 6 points. 4.5 gone in the first.
So Adam Kennedy to take the kick for GWS. Will drive it long towards the outer wing. Looking for a marker out there and standing tall, big Bruce. He takes the mark, had it knocked out of his hands by Stephen Cornelio running by it. With a friendly fire as Bruce. He'll drive it long for the Giants towards half forward. Looking for a marker. Hogan can't complete it. Down at ground level, Tui for Geelong. Handball to Blitzarves. Blitzarves fumbles, retrieves it. Handball back to Tui. Then Atkins to Stewart. Backtracking, he kicks and turns it over. Mark here for GWS. Setting it up Whitfield towards a dangerous sort of spot. Close, he's able to spoil it away. Cam Guthrie coming through. 1-2 with Kolajasny by hand. Handball back towards Duncan, who fashions some kind of kick. Looking for Stengel. Can't quite gather the first time. Eventually gets a handball away. Turns it over to Bobby Hill. Chisels it into the pocket. And low down, Jesse Hogan's able to mark. 25 metres out. 5 metres in from the boundary line in the right forward pocket.
Been a bit too cute there, I thought. Whether or not they had anything down the line, but I would have thought just get it out, take territory, compete for a contest, but turnover.
Jesse Hogan, who has kicked a goal in his last 4 games, including 3 last week against Adelaide. Going with the drop punt, boot the ball from 45 out, it's narrow all of the way. And a minor score to start for GWS. They're 1 behind, Geelong 1 straight 6. Played 6 minutes and change. Opening term, Grandstand AFL, Clint Wilden, myself, Ben Cameron, Shane Woden, the Brownlow medalist, and David Mundy.
Here's Zach Guthrie, the late inclusion with the injury to Reece Stanley. Goes beyond defensive 50. Fields giving away a free kick. We'll come back here to be taken at left half back. Opportunity for Duncan. Sends it towards left half forward for the Cats. Hawkins stretches, can't mark. Racing by Stengel. Had his hand pass intercepted. Chain of hand passes for the Giants here. Idun, Taranto to Perryman. Chance for Green. Bounces it along the line to Taylor. Taken on centre wing, outer side of the ground. Whitfield kicks around the body to a packet right half forward for GWS. Almost a big mark. Leaping up into the air and unable quite to get to it. A little bit frustrated by that, the Giants, but nevertheless a pretty good effort. The ball will be thrown in at right half forward. Geelong lead by 5 points. Early stages opening term. Here's Flynn, who was attempting to take the mark a moment ago. One down by the Cats, but only as far as Ash. Got it to Perryman for the Giants. Kicks towards right half forward. Stewart floating in front. Read it beautifully off the boot. Fairest and best last year for Geelong. He takes the mark and he'll trot back into the left back pocket for the Cats, who, as I said, still lead by 5 points over the Giants.
Stewart delivers a short pass to Quinton Narkle. An important season for him, out of contract at the end of the year. He goes short till he leads up and marks. So Geelong in that kick mark style. They've tried this year, as David Mundy mentioned pre-game, to put a little more speed on the ball. As Tui kicks long towards the wing. Lots of Giants there. Haynes puts his fist through it. It tumbles out, a throw in neutral territory on the outer wing.
And it's generated from plays like that where they're held up, they go long to their contest and really try to speed up through their half forwards, spiking that ball off the contest.
Reece Stanley are laid out today. Mark Blitzarves doing the ruck work. Opposed to Flynn here. Blitzarves works his way to the front. Brings it down in front. After it immediately, Tom Green. Handball away to Ash for the Giants. Kicks them to half forward. Hogan takes the mark, but too far out to score. Looks inside 50. Chips it into the pocket towards Toby Green. Himmelberg crashes the back. And O'Connor got a fist to it as well. Throw in right forward pocket for the Giants. Starting to have a few inside 50 entries, the Giants. 5-3. Geelong with the only goal of the game. The Giants with a behind through the opening 9 minutes.
Spun back into play, right forward pocket for GWS. Trying to get through. Buse gathers it. Gets tackled immediately, wrapped up by Tom Green. Get a hand pass out? No, the umpire said we'll ball it up instead. Throwing it aloft immediately. Flynn had the telling tap, but it's down to Tui. Kicks around the body, straight towards the outer wing. Haynes tried to tap it to his own advantage. Strong play from Hawkins. Releases the Cats. An opportunity to come inboard now Comes from Stengel. Then towards Duncan. Can he get onto it here? Nicely gathered out of all of that from O'Connor, who sends it inside forward 50. And here is the debutant, Cooper Stevens. He looks to play on to Duncan, who was running by. Hands it off to O'Connor again. He kicks on goal from about 45 out. He misses. He was just to the right of centre, a minor score. The Cats are 1-1-7. GWS one behind, 13 minutes to play in the first.
Kennedy goes short with the kick in to Josh Kelly. He'll go short again. And the mark taken there on the lead by Flynn Callaghan, who moves it on that left leg out towards the broadcast wing. Himmelberg able to take it. GWS happy to go slow. Short kick from Himmelberg to Kelly, not the required 15. He goes by hand back to Himmelberg, who moves it on long to half forward. Going up, arriving late, Flynn can't take the mark, comes down in front. Taranto away to Ward. He kicks the Giants inside attacking 50, floating ball. Kolajasny outpoints Hogan. He takes the defensive mark for the Cats and retreats to fullback to Tui. Geelong by one straight goal. They're 1-1, GWS 1-7 midway through the opening term.
Tui plays on immediately to Cam Guthrie, to Duncan. Kicks towards left half back. Hawkins marks. 22 goals in the season. He leads the Coleman medal race going into round 8. He pauses for a moment. Stops, props and sends it into the middle of the ground. Atkins marks. Running by Cam Guthrie. Receives the hand pass. Stabs it forward to Blitzards. Hughes is clear on the commentary wing. That's ignored. He'll go long towards full forward. Big fly, not quite a mark to Stengel. He went up. Dangerfield on the deck. Handed it out to Smith. Snapped around the body. Couldn't get any real purchase on the football. It'll tumble over the boundary line at left full forward.
They want to change angles, don't they? Off that back half. They're looking for that short all the time. They don't want to go long.
Cats lead by 6. 11 gone in the opening term.
Tom Hawkins, always dangerous in these situations. Flynn works his way to the front, slaps it away. Taranto trying to get a kick away, was held. He'll get a free kick. Tim Taranto equal team high 15 Brownlow votes last year for GWS. Has it in the back pocket. Kicks to Wyden at fullback. He chips it short to Kennedy in the left back pocket. And Kennedy, a little unsure, will decide to go long towards the wing, right towards the logo. Blitzarv's in good position. Doesn't take the mark in the end. Follows up at ground level. Handball away. Can't quite free up a teammate there in Cooper Stevens. A young man at the bottom of the pack, making his debut. The Cats' first pick in the 2019 draft, pick 16, a Colac product. Out there today on debut. Flynn wins it down. Taranto's kick goes straight to Dangerfield. High up and under towards half forward for the Cats. Whitfield's there. So too Parfitt. Eventually Parfitt gets it at ground level. Iten comes through for GWS. Playing tunnel ball, Perryman. Flicking it out, Narkle. Gets it off to Close. Running in on goal. 25 out. He sneaks it through. Well, it was a close shave, but Brad Close with the finish. And Geelong with the opening two of the afternoon. They're 2-1-13. GWS one behind. 13 minutes into the opening term. Grandstand AFL. Here's Shane Woden and David Mundy.
Yeah, Close already challenging the GWS defenders, getting out goal side for the second time already in this match. And nice little kick, bends it back through the big sticks.
Wasn't convincing, just got there.
Must be Perryman here. That's that. Not sure about that knock on behind. Really, just with the surge of the Geelong forwards, really gave them the momentum through that contest. Trying to drive his legs and push it forward or get more boundary side.
It's a win for the long sleeves early on in the cold conditions. As I said, 11 degrees, feels like 5 according to the Bureau. And the two players, Ollie Hill the other, wearing the long sleeves today. As Flynn wins it down, umpire spots a free kick, Ward take it high, plays on immediately to Kelly. Dodges one opponent, pumps it long inside forward 50. Huge fly. Stewart went very early, then punched towards the boundary line and over for a throw-in off the fist of the Cats. He really did set his sights on the football. Kolajasny was the player who was able to spoil, but he spun back in the left forward pocket for the Giants. On down. to the Cats again. Chance to sweep it away. This is the Koning. And now Stevens, the debutant, looks around the body towards centre wing. Taylor juggles it, can't mark it for the Giants. Hamilton picks it up, wrapped up immediately. Ball up will be the call, just in front of the logo. Commentary side of the ground here at Marnica. 2-1-13 the Cats. Giants are one behind. 14 and a bit gone in the opening quarter.
Flynn arriving late, slaps it down with a little hook. Cooper Stevens gets involved for the Cats. He's caught holding the ball. Stephen Canelio got him.
Didn't mind that. Test the tackle.
So Canelio, he'll thump it long into the pocket for the Giants. Himmelberg's down there. So too is Zach Guthrie, who takes a nice defensive mark. Moves it on quickly to the defensive goal square. Mark taken by Duncan. It kicks to Izzy Smith. He'll look further afield, out towards the logo on the wing. Narkle in pursuit. Right there with him or ahead of him going after it is Hamilton. And he'll mop up for the Giants. Feed a handball back to Keefe, who goes back to Hamilton. Has time. And then tiptoes the boundary line with a good short kick. He's able to find a target in Coming.
Coming inboard to Ward. Ward steps off. He might be run down. Here he is. Onto him, Stengel straight away. The ball jars free. Myers picks it up for the Cats. Here's a chance. Geelong inside forward 50. The long-range shot just misses to the right-hand side through Atkins. It opened up for him. He just couldn't convert. Stengel onto Ward straight away. Should have played the advantage more than anything else. Ward just dropped it, and he had prior as well. Geelong don't make them pay on the scoreboard, though. 2-2-14 the Cats, one behind GWS, and we've travelled 16 in the first.
So Coming with the kick in, sweeps it towards left half back. A good kick for Perryman. There's no one standing the mark, so just ambles forward and then pinpoints it to Jesse Hogan, just backward of the wing. Hogan a little unsure where to go, so we'll just go for distance towards the contest. Big pack forms. Off the fist of Zach Guthrie, Duncan onto the loose footy. Handball to de Koning, handball to Dangerfield here for the Cats. Atkins receives it, quickly tackled by Tom Green. He's a raging bull and impressing all Tom Green with the season he's putting together. Tackles his opponent out of play, will get a throw in neutral territory on the wing.
Become a good player, hasn't he, Tom Green? Inside the contest, a bit distracted.
Might even be the best T Green on the list at GWS, which is a fair effort.
Huge call.
Oh, don't know about that. Maybe in the future, but right now, massive calls. De Koning, hand pass away to Stewart, tackled immediately, ball jarred out. Hill was able to work it forward for the Giants to Himmelberg, hand pass towards Toby Green, who takes it over the boundary line under pressure. Neutral ball here, though. The Giants camped inside their forward 50 at the moment, but they haven't really been able to make it count. 10 inside 50s to 7. Led the ruck hit-outs to 9-5. Understandably so, with Geelong not with a first-choice ruck, as Flynn wins it down for the Giants. Canelio tried to work it around the body. Dangerfield picked it up for the Cats, kicked it towards right half-back. Now a chance for Perryman to Ward. Goes back again to Ranso, to Perryman, hard up against the boundary, bounces the hand pass into the ground, wanted to work it along, and it was very clever attempting to go around the boundary line himself and keep it in. Unfortunately, plans didn't quite work out. The ball went across the line, but it was inventive. I liked it. Throwing the call.
Umpire brings it back in, fisted back towards the boundary, and we'll do it again. Just on Tom Green in the year he's putting together, if I can editorialise here for a second. Averaging 27 disposals, 7 clearances per game. Both of those rated elite by Champion Data. He's starting to put together a fair season.
Hits a scoreboard too, gets forward and...
6 goals from his 7 games. Here's Whitfield receiving the tap and whacking it inside 50 for the Giants. Kolajasny bringing it down. There's a free kick. It's going to Hogan. The mark set 30 metres out. A slight angle left of centre. And Jesse will have a second look in this opening term.
It's amazing sometimes. It doesn't take a lot of method. Just get the ball in a really dangerous spot. Let your big forwards get a launch at it. And Jesse has a chance for his first goal after his second shot.
Sam de Koning just giving him a little shove in the back. So Hogan, like a little prancing horse with that approach. And this time, he steers it through for the desired result. The Giants first. They're 1-1-7, Geelong 2-2-14. 19 minutes into the opening term. Grandstand AFL. Shane by Woden, David Munn.
Yeah, not a bad kick for a prancing horse, that one. And the big difference with this, it was a surge kick into the forward 50, but the biggest difference from their forward 50 entries so far, I feel, is that it fell in front of the key forward, in front of Jesse Hogan in this instance. Gave him a chance to run and launch at it. Where a lot of their entries so far have been onto their forwards' heads, they've been fighting the extra Geelong defender back there, so...
Punching the air, celebrate.
I feel like their stoppage score source might be the way to go, more so from turnover. They feel like their tools get really high. That next kick they're unable to get to.
9-7 for the season now for Hogan. It's Bruce, the telling tap, then a thumping kick away by the Cats, right inside forward 50 from Blitzarms. Ball pinballs around, gathering at Ash, pop the hand pass up in the air. Chance to clear through Haynes. Kicks towards centre wing, commentary side. One down by Geelong here. Green's over the top of it, battling against Buse. Going in, a free kick coming away of the Giants here. Buse has remained down after he was bumped a moment ago. What we've seen inside forward 50, it's going to come back again for a free kick. Let's have another look at this. Yeah, it was Hogan coming the other way is the reason why he stayed down. So free kick in the first instance to Green for being taken high, and then it's been turned over. Hogan giving it away by going high on Buse, who looks a little worse for wear as he makes his way off the ground. That's the Cat, not the Giant. As Geelong move it down the commentary wing. Comes here to Duncan, short to Close, who's got it at right half forward. Still the lead, 7 points in favour of the Cats.
So Close in the long sleeves, kicks a low ball for a leading Hawkins. The big hulking Hawk steers it into the pocket, and Jeremy Cameron, he's marked it in the same spot, the exact spot he kicked the first goal of the game from.
It's a good build-up, wasn't it? No protection of the leading lanes defensively from GWS, and just patient footy.
Run it back, Jezza. He tries it again, and the same result. Cameron's got a couple, and Geelong 3-2-20 lead GWS 1-1-7, 22 minutes into the first term on Grandstand AFL.
It's something that mids and small forwards do really well, is they engage their opponent and they create those leading lanes. And Tomahawk or Cameron, they don't mind having shots from the boundary like this. Obviously, it's a great side for Jeremy Cameron's left foot in particular, but huge bit of space there for both of those lead-up kicks. It makes it really difficult for the defenders. So moving forward, GWS would want to fill those lanes a bit more effectively, but Geelong are doing a really great job of creating those spaces.
Cameron now to within one. The man who provided the pass in regards to goals. Cameron now to 21. Including, of course, Hawkins with 22 for the season. With arms against Flynn. Bruce rather, and Bruce wins it down. More spills around here. Solid, aggressive play came from Parfitt. Ends up going in the hands of Taranto across half-back, and he's forced to go back with the kick. Able to find Coming for the Giants, short again. Chance to build here through Callahan. Callahan short again to Cumming, who's at right half-back on the outer side of Manuka. Callahan continued his run. Short pop over the top. Mark's been on it. Uncontested. Dangerous kick down the outer side. Dangerfield read it well. He slides forward and takes the mark. Kicks into the centre of the ground. Here they go, the Giants once more. This is with Evans. Evans from the centre square. Out into the right forward pocket. Waiting for it. No surprises. Cameron's there again. And a better angle than he's had on the previous two. A chance to kick the Cats forth.
Hard to defend that one, isn't it? A simple skill error. Turnover. Just caught. Lose your shape, rule in offence.
So Jeremy Cameron, he'll kick from right on 50. Sends it on its way, misses to the right. He's had to go from slightly further out, but a much better angle. The result, a minor score. 3-3-21 Geelong, 1-1-7 GWS. We've gone 24 minutes into the first quarter on Grandstand AFL.
The kicking goes to Haynes at left half-back. He'll be happy today. A twilight game, the yellow ball. He's colourblind. Sees the yellow ball easier than the red ball. Being red-green colourblind as the kick goes to the wing. No mark at ground level will get a ball up.
I didn't know that.
No.
Loses the
Ben.
red ball a little more on the green surface, but a yellow ball he reckons he can pick up easier.
He marks either okay, doesn't he?
From the ball up, it spits out to Ward, who gives it off to Kennedy. The Giants across half back. Kennedy will kick them to half forward in the Cornelio direction. Zach Guthrie stands tall, takes another good intercept defensive mark here for Geelong. Wants to kick it back towards the wing in the Narkle direction. Coming across Kennedy, knocks it down to Ward. Will back feed a handball all the way back to Hamilton for GWS.
Hamilton comes down the commentary wing. He spots Kennedy. He's able to mark. Stabs the pass. Low, flat and hard to Cornelio. Plays on by hand off the ground. It's on in turn to Kennedy, and then he steers it inboard to Whitfield, who marks inside forward 50. Marking almost in line with the left hand behind post, who put boots a ball from 45.
Good by GWS. Just the ability to use short kicks. Force the Geelong defenders to defend. Lower the eyes coming forward.
Lockie Whitfield, dual best and fairest winner with the Giants. 3-1 for the season. Certainly kickable for him. Sends it on its way with the right. It starts out to the right, misses to the right. A minor score. 1-2-8 GWS. Geelong a 3-3-21 closing stages of the opening term here at Manuka on Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio, ABC News Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Zach Tui with the kick-in duties. Doesn't quite find the target in Duncan, but DeConing mops up. Handball back to Duncan. Handball away there for the Cats, away to Evans, who goes back to Duncan. Under some pressure, he's tackled. And in his back, he'll get a free kick on the wing. Mitchie Duncan, only 19 disposals last week. Goes short. And Cam Guthrie.
He's only got that now.
Cam Guthrie. He's already got 14,
Yeah.
Duncan. He's almost beat last week's
Connects
tally
him
in the
through
first
arcs.
quarter.
Yeah.
Incredible. Kolajasny at right half back for the Cats. Moves it on to Atkins. Will chip it short for a leading target. Working up the ground, Cameron's able to mark. Gives the handball back to Atkins. Running by, he'll chip towards the pocket. And the mark taken there by Zach Guthrie, 50 metres out, virtually on the boundary. Where can he go now? He'll set it up towards Hawkins in the pocket. In front of him, Taylor. Spills down. Cameron. Jezza snaps it home. Holds up 3 fingers. He's got 3. Geelong have 4. They're 4-3-27. GWS 1-8. And Jezza Cameron is loving playing against his old mob.
Certainly is. Hawk's got Taylor, who is a good one-on-one defender. Cameron gets the second one. Is reaping the rewards at the moment.
It's the Cameron Duncan show at the moment for Geelong, isn't it?
Yeah,
They've fought their own footy, and that's just a byproduct, I think, of him knowing Tomahawk was going to draw the ball where he was. Just got a really nice front and centre and made it look pretty simple.
Just Duncan links them well, doesn't he? Just connects them through the arcs. Bit of overlap.
Yeah, he plays like he's their preferred connection.
Yeah.
Kick inside 50 is obviously a beautiful finisher himself, but he's a lovely kicker of the football. And going inside 50, that's what you want.
Moves to 22 goals alongside Hawkins. Lynch with his efforts for Richmond today, leading the way with 27 in the Coleman medal race. Giants sent it towards right half forward with the boot of Cumming. What he was hoping for, it's tumbled over the boundary line for a throw-in. GWS dominating the hit-outs as you'd expect, 15-5. Cats lead on the scoreboard. Thrown in. And down by Bruce, who gathers it himself, kicks the Giants into the right forward pocket. All allowed to bounce by Atkins, who then takes it over the line for another throw-in. Heading towards right full forward, probably 25 around from GWS's attacking goal at the pool end of Manuka Stadium, to the left of the broadcast position. Ball spun in again. One down by the Giants. Beautifully roving Green sells the dummy as well and then kicks the goal. Just said to Zach Guthrie, here's the footy. Oh, no, it's over here. And now it's through the big sticks. The Giants get their second much needed one. from Toby Green. 2-2-14 GWS. Geelong are 4-3-27. It's the Cats by 13. 29 gone in the first term. On Grandstand AFL, our experts David Mundy and Shane Wowood.
We don't see that very often. A small forward, particularly of Green's ilk, strolling through a forward 50 stoppage untouched. Himmelberg there, beautiful block for him at the other side of the stoppage, but as we know, a nice little flare, a bit of finish at the end. Lovely to see. Love to watch him play. 6 coaches' votes last week, 17 disposals and 4 goals against the Adelaide Crows.
It's good connection there, good craft.
Litzarves and Bruce back in the middle. Bruce wins the tap decisively and follows up with a soccer to half forward for GWS. Onto the footy collar Jasny. Handball to Duncan. The Cats back the other way quickly. Stevens goes back with the handball to Duncan, to O'Connor, who moves it on back to Cam Guthrie. It was dealt with O'Connor. Advantage taken. Zach Guthrie kicks the Cats towards half forward, towards Stengel. Can't quite complete the mark. Inside 50. Smith gets a handball away. Stengel still following up. Gathers. Zigzags. Tries to break a tackle. Gets it on the boot. Straight up and under. Nobody able to mark it. The Giants spoil it away. It comes down to Haynes, who will kick beyond defensive 50 for the Orange.
Green got a hand to it in a pack. Couldn't mark. Atkins gathers for the Cats. Tackled by Himmelberg. It's locked in at left half back for GWS. Ball up the call. Cats by 13 points. Closing stages, opening turn. Bruce won it down. Tom Green couldn't do much with it. Close gathers, kicks into traffic, split back to Tom Green. Worked it out the back. Eventually the Giants had it through Perryman. Gave it to Ash. Kicks down the commentary wing. Ball's allowed to bounce. Sat there nicely for Himmelberg. Swept it forward to Kelly. The Giants were away. Just as the siren sounded for quarter time. It sees Geelong in front. 4-3-27 to GWS 2-2-14. The goal kickers for the Cats. Cameron has 3, close with 1. And for GWS, their goals coming from Jesse Hogan and Toby Green. It's a 13-point lead to the Cats at quarter time, wherever you're listening on ABC Radio, ABC News Radio and ABC Sport Digital. This is Grandstand AFL.
90 years of your stories.
It is a real thing for me. Lifting behind a mother, around 9 brothers and 6 sisters. You guys are my family. ABC is on my thing all the time. Sometimes I do get in trouble with the customers who wants to change it. I just say, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, and I keep listening. Being a family member is nothing that you choose. So you like me, you dislike me, you are my family.
90 years of the ABC.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL. On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Cats down the broadcast wing now. Danger looks inside 50. Leading target. And onto the chest of Cameron, who against his former side marks deep in the right forward pocket. Coleman medalist in 2019. The snap from 47 metres out is bending home. Eventually Parfin gets it at ground level. Iden comes through for GWS. Playing tunnel ball, Perryman flicking it out. Narkle gets it off to close. Running in on goal, 25 out. He sneaks it through. And Geelong with the opening two of the afternoon is Whitfield receiving the tap and whacking it inside 50 for the Giants. Jasny bringing it down. There's a free kick. It's going to Hogan. Hogan like a little prancing horse with that approach, and this time he steers it through for the desired result. The Giants first. They'll set it up towards Hawkins in the pocket. In front of him, Taylor. Spills down. Cameron. Jezza snaps it home. Holds up 3 fingers. He's got 3.
Down by the Giants. Beautifully. Roby Green sells the dummy as well and then kicks the goal. Just said to Zach Guthrie, here's the footy. Oh, no, it's over here. And now it's through the big sticks.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Earlier today on Grandstand AFL, a 27-point win to Richmond over Collingwood. Lynch kicking 6 goals to take his tally to 27 for the season. The Tigers moving, for the moment, up into 8th. That was at the MCG. Well, at the SCG, this is a bit of a surprise. Gold Coast by 14 points over the Swans. Gold Coast 10-15-75 to Sydney's 8-13-61. So winners earlier today, Richmond over Collingwood, Gold Coast over Sydney. In Canberra, in the nation's capital, it's Geelong 4-3-27 to GWS's 2-2-14. If you just joined us, a late change. Reece Stanley was the player who came out for the Cats. Zach Guthrie, the late in, leaving Geelong without a genuine ruckman. Hasn't mattered to them too much on the scoreboard, though. Let's get the thoughts of our experts, Shane Woden and David Mundy.
A tale of how both teams are scoring at the moment. Geelong from turnover, and you would think it'd be a bit more stronger around the contest from stoppage with GWS because they got the ruck dominance today, so they should have a little bit more ascendancy around midfield to be able to surge it forward and get territory. But I find that would struggle a bit from turnover today. Going forward with, as I said, Geelong's back half really strong, getting that +1 behind the ball and then really picking off half back.
Yeah, and couple that, I think, with Geelong's ability to pressure around the contest, that they're forcing a lot of quick kicks out of those stoppages. The GWS are winning, and we know that how Stewart likes to play, sits up behind the ball really well and is able to intercept those balls. So I think, though they're winning the clearances, got a lot of ruck dominance, GWS will be looking for a bit more from those clearance wins.
Yeah, absolutely. Look to really be looking to use the corridor with Geelong too. They're really patient off half-back. Looked early, they didn't really want to go long down the line. They really try and own the ball, use it through uncontested marks early, and then once they find the hole, there's real patience there. Tui a couple of times, and then finally one opens up late. They use it, and then they get it across the ground, and which just opens it up for Cameron and Hawkins on the other side of the ground. So, yeah, really patient. I think they've got to just create that density and make that web a bit tighter so those opportunities are not there for Geelong.
And particularly with Blickavs playing in the ruck, if they can get him open side, running off the opposition's ruckman, whoever it may be, that's obviously a big strength of his. So it's been their most threatening mode of play so far.
Some of the numbers up to quarter time, relatively even in terms of contested ball. +2 Geelong, ground ball gets +9 Geelong. Inside 50s, 13-12 the way of the Giants. Marks inside 50, 4-2 the way of Geelong. The tackles, GWS 13-7. Geelong have had more of the ball, 110 disposals to GWS 90 overall. Some of the leading ball winners. Mitch Duncan is streets ahead of the rest at quarter time. He's got 16 to the first break. The next best, Patrick Dangerfield, Cam Guthrie and Harry Perryman with 8. So he's more than doubled the next best and on track for 64 today. Mitch Duncan, the way he's going through the opening term.
Not a bad day, that one.
Absolutely. I'd be happy with that. Looks fresh, doesn't it? There.
It's fresh, all
Everyone
right.
with red beaks.
It's cold. You can tell that by the number of scarves being worn around the ground. Always nice to have a look and spot. Got Ainsley Footy Club jacket and jumper. Question with the Jesse Hogan incident with Jed Buse. Is he in strife for that? Did raise the elbow. I'm not saying it was deliberately done, but as he went to win the football and Buse came at him, he has raised the elbow into Buse and Buse remains off the ground. Shane?
Oh, they'll certainly look at it, no doubt. It looks like it's a concussion.
Yeah, if Buse doesn't play on, I think he's in a bit of strife.
Yeah. Results based, Ben.
Yep. Like the traffic light system I always speak about.
I think he might be in some trouble with that, Jesse Hogan. Second quarter underway. One down by Bruce for the Giants. Goes forward, though, for the Cats and helped on by Smith. That was clever. He was being almost held and just sort of nudged the ball forward with his left boot. It went towards Close, who was then tackled immediately. A ball up will be the call. Just having a look on the screen and seeing Buse waiting still downstairs as Narkle gets a clearing kick inside forward 50. They wanted Hawkins, couldn't get to it, neither could Cameron. Mopped up there by Taylor. It's been held to him by Cameron. Ball up inside the right forward pocket for the Cats, looking for an early goal in this second quarter. Hawkins almost looked like he tried to soccer that out of mid-air. The Giants, though, can get the football and they'll go beyond defensive 50. Colin Jasny punching it down. It came to Dangerfield, worked it onto O'Connor, goes short. Up into the air, popping it for Tui to mark. Just shy of 50 from goal. Hard up against the boundary at right half forward. Puts it into the right forward pocket. No mark taken. Path it flew. Couldn't get it. Tom Green looks to shovel it forward to Ash, and the Giants will clear towards the outer wing. Oh, almost a massive fly to Koning. Went, spilled down at the back row. Connor again, gave it to Stewart.
Stewart kicks a high ball to half forward for the Cats. Tom Green through his hands, falls to Hawkins. Handball towards Narkle in the pocket. Jams it on the boot. It drifts towards goal. And a little narrow, the floating ball. Just the wrong side of the goalpost for a minor score. Geelong move along to 4-4-28. GWS 2-2-14. Early stages of the second.
GWS already made some early inroads to try and block those leading lanes. Tom Green in that forward 50 entry there was blocking that lane that they exploited in that first quarter.
It's an aggressive kick from Cumming in the right back pocket, went up the corridor and found Cornelio. They had to mark that, the Giants, and the former captain did. Otherwise it would come straight back inside their forward 50. Cornelio kicks the right half forward. Hilberg brings it to ground. It comes to Whitfield. He kicks short to Kelly. Marking at centre half forward. He'll load up from 55. He's given it the lot. He just misses to the right. The eyes went wide for a moment when he saw his chance. Another minor score, unfortunately, for the Giants. They're 2-3-15. Geelong 4-4-28. Early stages. In fact, 2.5 minutes gone in this second term.
Short kick in. Goes to Stewart. He moves it on. Very short again to Cooper Stevens on debut. Kicks as long as he can for the Cats towards the wing. Coming up, unable to take the mark. Evans off hands. Narkle knocks it away to Close. They work it through hands. Atkins gets it on towards Parfitt, trying to get it back to Evans. He's over the top of the footy. The Giants arrive on the wing and they'll hold it in and we'll get a ball up. Tell me if I'm wrong here. I feel like I'm seeing a lot more of the short kicks relatively straight from the kick-ins.
From Geelong?
From every side, I reckon, in the competition. As Geelong win it from the stoppage, the kick goes towards the logo, and the mark taken there by Duncan for the Cats. He moves it on to Dangerfield through the middle of Marnica. He looks long towards full forward, tried to find a target. Close brings it to ground, doesn't complete the mark. Over the top of him quickly is Hamilton. And we'll get a ball up 15 metres out from the Cats attacking goal.
Could hold the ball there. Yeah, I think it's best option necessary from kick in too. If it's there, you use it. If it's not, take the long one.
So the free kick for holding the ball given to Hamilton. He moves it to Cumming, goes beyond defensive 50 towards right half back. Big pack up. Stevens gathers for the Cats on debut. Hand passing looking for Stewart. Pressure came from Himmelberg. Cornelio gathered, got taken high. He'll get the free kick. Has a little bit to say with Stewart as well. He gets told to stand the mark. Cornelio, dangerous kick, short. Guthrie just come onto the ground, but worked its way to Tom Green, who was able to take the mark for the Giants. Nothing immediately presents itself in front of him, so from centre wing in front of the interchange gates, he kicks down the line. It's beautifully measured. And coming out to mark is Bruce. Bruce from right half forward, kicks towards full forward, flying goal, Green, magnificent. Toby Green came from a long way back. Took 2 goes at it, but was able to drag it in. He's right in front and must go back and kick this for the Giants.
That was his ball 30 metres before it got to him, wasn't it? He just lined up for him perfectly to get a nice run and jump at it.
No body. Thought it was the greatest kick for the GWS forwards, but
it'll work out okay if Green converts. He's right in front. And he kicks his second. A big one for the Giants. They get the opening goal the second term and they close the gap to 7 points. GWS 3-3-21, Geelong 4-4-28, 5.5 gone in this the second quarter. Toby Green, he can do it on the run, he can do it from a set shot. Could be another key, and he loves a big mark.
It's good aerially, isn't he, for his size? Just creates a contest anyways, smashing the pack.
Well, I think that's why he's such a dangerous player, is that all facets of his game are really strong. So put someone a bit bigger on him and he exploits him at ground level and vice versa.
Forget list management in the future. Right now you have to pick one T Green. Which one do you pick for a game today? I know which one do you pick today?
I'm taking Toby.
You're taking Toby?
I'm Toby.
Yeah, I'm Toby too, but I think your point's a valid one. Maybe not
Here
too
is
far
Tom
into the
Green
future.
staking his claim, getting a handball away to Bruce. Ward flicks out a handball to Perryman on the logo. Chisels a short ball, a good kick, leading up to Ranto marks.
The impact he has in the front half.
So damaging. It's that striker role, isn't it? Yeah. Forward of centre. Taranto sets it up towards the hot spot, going up Himmelberg. Brings it down. Canelio there. Spits out to Perryman. Handball to Tom Green. Handball away to Bobby Hill. In the right forward pocket. Hooking across the body. He can't quite bring it back enough. And he misses to the right-hand side. Brings it back to one straight kick. The margin, though. Geelong lead. Bobby Hill. He's binned the long sleeves at quarter time. Warmed up enough after the opening term.
Leon Cameron said, no, mate. Not today.
Which is brave because it's now 9.7 degrees out there. It's the Cats down the outer side. Hand pass releases Parfitt. He can take a bounce. He's still going. Runs to right half forward. Kicks inside forward 50. Taylor up. Couldn't mark Iden at the drop. Hand pass was short to Perryman. Has to grubber the kick into the right back pocket. Iden was there to pick it up once more. He sends it beyond defensive 50. He wants Hill. Can't outmark Zach Guthrie. Front position was the Cat. Had the slight height advantage. Could drag it in. The inboard pass to Cam Guthrie. Just on the edge of the logo commentary wing, and the kick inside forward 50 was not what he wanted. Sam Taylor, right spot, right time, took the mark. The Cats lead by 6, 4-4 to 3-4. 28 plays 22. We've gone 7 minutes in the second.
Taylor with a high kick towards the wing. Himmelberg drops the mark. Blitzarves at ground level. Canelio goes in for GWS. Trying to pick it up, Bruce. Long way down to do so. Tries to burst through the Myers tackle. Still a loose footy with the scrum around it. Never trying to get involved. Injected into the game for Jed Buse. He's been subbed out with concussion. Got the high hit from Jesse Hogan if you missed it. Geelong by 6 points. Bruce hooks it down to Tom Green. Slick hands away to Perryman, who gives it on to Kelly on his non-preferred right. Floats it to half forward. In front, Sam DeConing marks. Takes it at left half back for Geelong. The Hoops leading by one straight kick, as I said, 8.5 minutes into this second term.
So the Cats with two debutants out there today. Mitch Nevitt, the medical sum, taking a pick 25 in the 21 national draft. Best and fairest with the Geelong Falcons last year. Alongside him, of course, Cooper Stevens, who started on the ground on debut as well. Geelong have it. This is Nevitt on centre wing. Hand passes to Close. He'll get it back again, immediately involved. Nevitt inside forward 50. Not a great kick. It's always there to be marked by Taylor. Went out a little bit to the left of where he would have been hoping it went. This young man, a couple of early touches for him. As Taylor sends it beyond defensive 50 for the Giants towards the commentary wing. Good mark taken. Comes through Bruce. On in turn to Kennedy. Hand pass in the centre circles. Canelio had to wait as it bounced. He broke the tackle of Tui. Trots back with Canelio and then kicks long towards right half forward. Beautifully weighted kick. Good vision too. He found Hogan. Hand passes to Perryman on the run. Perryman to full forward. Himmelberg battling away against O'Connor. The ball bounces past them and spins over the line for a throw-in right next to the left-hand behind post. Geelong's lead is 6 points. They're 4-4-28. The GWS 3-4-22. We've gone nearly 10 minutes in the second term.
Umpire spins it in. Blitzarves taps it immediately back boundary side and do it again. Mitch Nevitt along with Sam DeConing. They look like they've come straight from Bells Beach. The peroxide blonde hair.
Aggressive haircuts.
Look like they should have the surfboard under their wing. Bruce knocks it down. Straight to Atkins for the Cats though, who kicks them towards the wing. A good kick. Finds Stengel.
Not sure that's peroxide. I think that's
natural. Yeah, that's what I meant. I just meant peroxide sort of colour. That very natural blonde.
It's not the Jack Ginnivan look.
No. Here's Cameron working up the ground, receiving the kick from Stengel. Chips it forward of the logo and Duncan marks. Gives it back to Cameron, cruising by. Chips inside 50. Good kick for the leading Close, who slides into mark 45 metres out. Just ever so slightly left of centre.
Same as we spoke about in the first quarter. Ability to get in the bubble, hit that 45 inside, get some overlap, get to the other side of the ground, open field for the forwards to hit up into. It's like training drill, clockwork for the Cats at the moment.
Already
ball
got,
use.
sorry, Wowie. Already got one today. Brad Close, second goal of the match. Boot the ball from 45. He starts at left. It's not coming back.
Laces into that. Drop punt. Old school.
4-5-29 plays 3-4-22. 11 minutes 30 into the second term.
Hayden wasn't sure where to go. Thought about going into the right back pocket, then looked towards the left. And he changes his mind and runs towards right full back, and now sends it beyond defensive 50 to right half back. Almost a big mark up there in the Cats. Spilled down to Kolajasny. Got tackled immediately. Keith with some help from Tom Green. Wrap him up on the defensive edge of the centre square for GWS. Emerging with it, Ward. It's a kick away for the Giants towards centre wing. Awkward bounce for Whitfield. Went straight back over his head. Dangerfield dives on top of it. Tackled by Perryman. Dangerfield has another go. He stuck out the right boot. He's been pinged for kicking in danger, Paddy Dangerfield. Whitfield will have the ball.
Don't say that very often anymore. When was the last time you saw that?
From the ground.
There was one last week for Port Adelaide against St Kilda, but before that you can go back months. Ball has it across half back for the Cats. Comes to close now on centre wing. Chance to work it forward. Oh dear. Off the outside of the left boot from Zach Guthrie. Not what he was hoping for at all. It's gone out of bounds on the full. He was under no pressure either. So a free kick to be taken here by the Giants. They'll have it just shy of centre wing. Geelong lead by 7 points. 13 gone in the second term.
Kelly kicks it long on that left leg towards half forward. Sam De Koning hands to it, doesn't take the mark. Down to Tom Green, snaps quickly. Lands in the lap of O'Connor, defensive mark for Geelong. His kick's ugly. Misses the target there of Cooper Stevens. Goes on to the footy. Gives it off there to Izzy Smith, who kicks on his right. A well-weighted kick too. The man into the game, Mitch Nevitt. That natural bleach blonde hair as he kicks around the boundary, overshoots his target in the big emu, Jeremy Cameron. It tumbles out, a throw-in just forward of the wing for the Cats. They lead by 7 points, 13 minutes into this second term.
Just a couple Nevitt, hasn't he, on debut, just feeling the game. Felt a bit nervous early.
Ball thrown in. Going up, blitz arms, won it down. Spilled to Ash of the Giants to Ward. Hand pass intercepted and knocked down. Callahan was looking to work it forward as Myers kept it in. Not quite. Good tackle. Wrapped up by Callahan. Sent him over the boundary line with the football for a throw-in. Cats by 7 points. 14 gone in this second term. Duncan leading the way in terms of disposals. He's had 18. Next best is Perryman with 13. Ball taken away here by the Cats. One down by Hawkins. Gave it to Smith, who then kicks and misses by cannoning into the right-hand goalpost. Goodness me. Wasn't far away at all, and he just seemed to burst onto it then, Isaac Smith. It's a minor score. 4-6-30 to 3-4-22. Under real pressure here, the Giants, as they look to bring it away. Close. Just really put extra pressure and was able to get on towards Cumming, who has the dump kick beyond defensive 50. Parfitt's there for the Cats again. Gives it to Smith. Sends it high up into the air. Back inside the attacking 50. They wanted Hawkins. Had two to beat. Waiting underneath it. Cummings takes the mark. He almost made a right mess of that. The Giants now can settle down and they kick across the face of goal to Hamilton, who then moves it short again into the left back pocket. Here's an opportunity for Callahan.
Callahan picked 3 in last year's draft. Gives it back to Hamilton, who kicks towards the wing. Doesn't quite find Taylor, but he's good enough to recover at ground level. Handball to Ward. Handball to Callahan again. On that left leg, he turns it straight over. Mark taken there by O'Connor for Geelong. Short kick to Nevitt. Handball over the top to Narkle. Forward of the wing now, Geelong. Kick inside, attacking 50. Looking for Hawkins, getting back. Sam Taylor brave again. Another intercept mark. He averages 3 intercept marks per game for GWS. Sam Taylor, he goes back to Iden. And now Cumming has usually a good kick. No exception here as he spots up a target in Ash at right half back for the Giants.
So Ash looks to see what's ahead of him. He'll go on a short run. Kick towards the commentary wing. Stretching Flynn. Brought it down. Cornelio, clever hand pass forward. Stewart almost intercepts, but it bounces on again to Hill. Hill for the Giants, hand pass to Tom Green. Pops a hand pass forward to Cornelio, tackled by Guthrie. He's wrapped him up. Cornelio couldn't get the arms free, and he's been pinged. Free kick towards Guthrie, or to the Cats, who'll have it at left half back. Do like the Giants marquee on the outer side of the ground, the Tom Green fan club. Obviously plenty in the Ben Cameron camp as the Cats will turn it over dangerously. The kick towards centre wing, missed Atkins, picked up by Perryman. He couldn't find Ash. Myers gathers, might have been taken high. Umpire says no, the other way. It's holding the ball. Taranto with the free kick.
So Taranto on the AFL logo. Moves it on to Perryman. Looks short. Good kick for Flynn. Flynn marks exactly 50 metres out, right on the arc.
First touch for Flynn. Or possession anyway.
Yeah.
Is that a few hit outs?
Gives it off to Cumming. A designated kicker running by. He goes long. Out to the right. And behind 3-5-23 GWS. Geelong 4-6-30. 7 points. Geelong's advantage. 17 and a half minutes into the second term.
Kick to Kolajasny in the right back pocket, who marks from the kicking to Dangerfield, who points down the line towards the outer wing. It's a lovely pass too, and he's been able to find Nevitt. Mitch Nevitt. The Geelong Falcons, the best and fairest last year. Hard up against the boundary line. Kicks towards right half forward in front of the Tom Green fan club marquee. Cats have it though. Got it from Narkle. Gave it to Cam Guthrie. Kicks inside forward. 50. Hawkins had 2 bites at it, but was able to control it the second time against Keith. He'll go back and kick on goal. He'll start in line with the right hand behind post. He'll put boots a ball from 40 out.
Well, Mitch Nivet's learnt really quickly in your first game. If you miss your first 2, just kick it long in your third. And on the back of that, they've got to mark inside 450.
There's no support for GWS there. The 2 big boys, 1 out.
Tom Hawkins looking for his first of the evening. Kicks on its way from Hawkins. He hits the right-hand goalpost. It's been clattered into a couple of times today. Minor score for the Cats. 4-7-31. GWS 3-5-23. 18 gone in the second.
Short kick in to Taranto. Goes back to Cumming, who goes short again into the middle. GWS looking to go up the middle. Handball from Whitfield to Taranto. To the run of Cumming again. Has to handball here. Turns it over. Straight to Atkin. Atkins backtracking. Kicks back towards the wing and Stengel's away down the outer side here for the Cats. Goes into the pocket. Looking for Hawkins again. And he juggles it and marks it once more. But he gave away a free kick at 50.
Dangerfield. Sorry, mate. I thought Dangerfield should have got a free kick, top of the 50, running back in. Copped an elbow to the head.
So Taylor wants to switch it towards the broadcast wing. Haynes does well, marking that yellow Sharon. Now he looks forward of the logo, towards the arc for the Giants, looking for Toby Green. O'Connor outpoints him and intercept marks for the Cats. Oh, his kick's errant over the head of the target. Parfit. Taranto onto it. Taranto's tackled to deck. And we'll get a ball up. Neutral territory, southern wing on the edge of the centre square. Geelong leading by 8 points. Almost time on in the second. Only one goal in this turn.
I thought the free kick was there, and I certainly thought the descent call was there. That wasn't just to throw your arms out, which can be a bit tough. That was a genuine remonstration. As Smith takes it away for the Cats. Kicks inside forward 50. Haynes couldn't mark. Hawkins was there. So too Myers, who gathers and snaps towards goal. Oh, Stengel! Like a striker in the round ball game, just tapped it through for a goal. The Fox in the box. What a poacher's goal it was. Geelong, they've got their 5th. 5-7-37. GWS 3-5-23. What a lovely little finish.
A great cross, wasn't it?
Yes. Whipped in the ball from the left-hand side. Got past the last defender. Tapped it home.
You're an Everton fan, aren't you, Clint? I'm surprised you know what that looks like.
Hey, enough of that. Playing Leicester tomorrow. Wearing my Everton shirt today. Goodness me. That was a lovely finish.
Very clever.
Side-footed at home. 14 goals from 8 games this year, Tyson Stengel. And a good pick-up. had his issues off-field when he was at the Crows, went back to Woodville West Torrens and earned his second chance at AFL level. Blitzarves taps it down, tries to follow up. Taranto beats him to it. Blitzarves plays the role of tackler. And we'll go again.
He's gone past Dalhouse, hasn't he, in this 22? He's taken that spot.
Umpire puts it aloft. Bruce knocks it down towards Tom Green. Dangerfield hacks a kick forward. Ricochets back towards him. Tom Green gets it again. Gets a mongrel punt towards the wing. Going after it, Zach Guthrie. Slaps it away. Bobby Hill onto it. A little goose step of sorts. Handball to Callum Ward. He'll kick the Giants inside 50. He'll turn it over. Duncan Marks defensively for Geelong.
Duncan, thumping kick right in the middle of the ground. Came to Parfitt, swept the hand pass forward to Tui. Tui runs to right half forward, kicks the Cats in the Hawkins direction. He marks it right full forward, right on the boundary line. He'd have no daylight to look at between the big sticks.
Good pressure on the ball carrier on this centre wing, wasn't it? Just to be able to force that dump kick forward, intercept, and then other side of the ground, open field, go.
Hawkins snaps around the body with the left. No mistake for the Tomahawk. And big Tom Hawkins gives the Cats their sixth goal. 6-7-43. It's a 20-point advantage now to the Cats over the Giants. GWS 3-5-23. Tom Hawkins, tremendous effort from him. Goal number 688. And that's his 23rd of the season.
And a great player, hasn't he? For a long period. Nice big minutes too.
Yeah, 100% game time on Tomahawk. But even from that tight angle in Canberra, it probably looked like quite a big opening of the goals for him. As a side note, the goalposts at Cardinia Park are massive. Next time you watch a game there, check it out.
Tall?
As in girth, fast.
Yeah, right. It's interesting. Maybe looking for that. Bruce might have hurt himself from the ruck tap. Dangerfield sharks it, kicks towards close. Juggles it with sticky fingers. Gives it off to Nevitt, who kicks inside attacking 50. Bouncing ball. Keith does well. Beats Tomahawk to it. His handball's knocked down though. Close to the line. Callum Ward happy to see it out. We'll get a throw in.
I don't know why, but I would have sort of assumed that all the goalposts were the same sort of thickness. But I mean, the grounds aren't, so what would the goalposts be?
Well, James Ash mentioned it to me in our captain's run last week, and I looked and was like, wow, that is noticeable. Then there was about 4 posters the next day.
Umpire spins it back in, flicking it down Blitzarves, but stealing it Hamilton for the Giants. Gives it off to Kelly. Snap around this broadcast wing. Kolajasny in front of Hogan, sticks a fist in and out of play. We'll get a throw in on the wing. The Giants had won their last 5 second terms, but it's 2-1 the way of Geelong as it stands in their second term at the moment. They lead by 20 points as we're about 2.5 minutes away from half-time.
One down by Bruce. Dangerfield got in front of Tom Green, got a kick away, only as far as Ward. His kick was intercepted, though, by Parfitt. They're sharing around Dangerfield, then kicks back to Ward. Hand passes to Kelly. Tackled immediately by Stengel. Spilled out towards Ward, worked it down the line. And then Tom Green taken over the boundary line by the debutant Nevitz. It'll be a throw-in between the two interchange gates. Cats lead by 20 points as we close in on half-time. They've just joined us earlier today. Richmond by 27 over the Magpies. Gold Coast by 14 over Sydney. All back into play. Bruce front position. Slapped forward, though, by Blitzarves. Came to Nevitt, worked it on to a teammate in Parfitt. Kicks the Cats towards centre-half forward. Umpire spotted a free kick. It'll go to Taylor, who was infringed by Cameron. It looks a little bit worse for wear after that contest. He's remained on the ground. Got up limping, though. Giants kick towards right half forward. Umpire spotted another free kick in the marking contest. This is back to Bruce. Still Cameron might have a little problem with his leg there. Long kick inside forward 50. Green flew at the back. Koenig mopped up to Tui. Now to O'Connor. Short pass. Pounced agonisingly and frustratingly in front of the player who was trying to work it towards, and instead it's only over for a boundary throw-in. Quite what Gonzales would have been hoping for. 6-7-43 the Cats. 3-5-23 the Giants. 26 gone in the second.
So Flynn and Blitzarves Set to do battle. They lock up. Blitzarves knocks it down onto the footy. Kelly jams it on the left boot. It'll tumble out. They throw in 20 metres around. From the attacking goal for GWS. She missed it earlier today. Richmond won by 27 over Collingwood, and Gold Coast won by 14 over Sydney. From the throw-in, Blitzarves takes it out of the ruck, clears towards the middle of the ground for Geelong. Iden slaps it forward, trying to go after the footy there, Parfitt. Close just soccers it forward, but then Keefe onto the footy for the Giants. Handball to Tom Green. Handball away to Cumming. There's a whistle. High tackle, free kick will go to Cumming. So Cumming on the logo for the Orange. Sinks that nice right slipper through it towards the forward pocket. Nobody able to mark. Close. Tracks the loose footy. It's a handball towards Guthrie. This is Cam. He's happy to see it out. And there'll be a throw-in about a metre beyond the attacking arc here for GWS. They trail by 20 points on the stroke of half-time.
So Patrick Dangerfield on the bench on the screens, having a quick drink as Blitzarves wins it down. Hit though by Whitfield. Handed it off, kicked towards Callahan, sent it inside forward 50. Atkins marks defensively for the Cats between fullback and centre half-back. Sends it down to the right back pocket. This is Duncan who marks. Pops it short to O'Connor, leading towards the boundary line. Cats player just goes to ground after a little push and shove off the ball. Umpires say play on. O'Connor down the line off the hand of Idun, and then taken by Stengel over the boundary line for a throw-in at right half back for Geelong. 6-7-43 Geelong, 3-5-23 GWS. Half-time just moments away. Or indeed, here with us right now. So the Cats, they have a 20-point advantage, Geelong, after what was a 13-point lead at quarter time. They kicked 2-1 in that term. It's a little bit of afters for the siren go on for a moment. Hawkins had a little bit of a discussion then. A bit to say, Kelly, who's now walking away as well. Hawkins continues to have a bit of chat with the Giants players as both teams head to their respective rooms. It was a player, I think it was Bruce who actually put the elbow out for Hawkins to walk by. Potentially one of the things he was having a little chat about as he made his way off the ground. Geelong has already been forced to make its change with the Medi sub. Buse out through concussion after copping a Hogan elbow in the first quarter. So bringing on Mitch Nevitt on debut as the Medi sub, and they have the second debutant, or should I say the first debutant, because he started on the ground, Cooper Stevens. So two debutants for GWS today. 6-7-43 to 3-5-23. The goal kickers for Geelong. Cameron has 3. Stengel's got 1, Hawkins with 1, and Close with 1 as well, while for GWS, Toby Green with 2 and Jesse Hogan with their other major. It's a cold twilight moving very much into night in Canberra. 9 degrees at the moment. The game, though, has been pretty hot at stages. Let's find out what our experts have made of it all. David Mundy and Shane Woden on Grandstand AFL.
GWS, Dave, probably wrestled a little bit of momentum back, particularly in that first half of that quarter, and sort of challenged Geelong in a few areas and bridging the gap a little bit. Probably lost their way that last 5 or 6 minutes where Geelong were able to just pull away again, but certainly was an arm wrestle I felt through that second term.
Yeah, I think Geelong was setting up really well defensively behind the ball. Looks like they're getting a bit of depth from some of their players and maybe even generating a bit of a +1, which is putting a bit of doubt into the GWS's mind, particularly the back half of that quarter. Geelong were then able to pressure around the ball a lot more effectively, GWS giving a bit more time and then generating some really good turnovers through the middle to defensive half of the ground. And then really off the back of that, we've spoken about it a few times, but Geelong's ball movement, they're being able to take it on in those 45s, get some really good corridor looks going forward, and once you open up the 50 with the calibre of player they have up forward, it's really difficult to defend.
That's where I felt GWS have struggled to defend. That certainly that 45 and protection, or even a little shift and switch at the other side, and They get great overlap and good speed on the ball too, and forwards are licking their lips at that stage, in particular two boys. But even their speed forwards, the ones that get up and get back and just create a bit of chaos too to get forward. Certainly challenging for GWS to defend that at the moment. But around the contest, I thought they just bridged the gap a little bit, much better there. Sort of an arm wrestle. Felt like they were just to and fro in there. They're getting good supply. Just be able to score from it. It's been the issue for GWS at the moment.
Yeah, their ball movement, when they're held up, going long, probably not getting enough from Bruce and Flynn. Flynn in particular hasn't really had much influence around the ball outside of his ruck contest with 10 hit-outs. But when Geelong were able to hold them up and GWS can't generate that handball overlap running game off half-back, probably just need a bit more of a target from some of those guys to really draw the contest. And we saw it a couple of times in that quarter. Bruce took a really good mark in the forward half, and that led to the Toby Green goal early in that quarter. But around the ground, probably not offering enough of a contest.
Yeah, not much from Himmelberg and Hogan too, particularly over at back half. Better hit the logos, get up the ground a little bit, compete that contest, and probably leave Toby in a few smalls deeper. But when they're playing deep, I'm not seeing much from them at the moment.
Interesting looking at some of the numbers with the score origin or score sources. So from the defensive half, Geelong have kicked 5-4-34 of their total of 6-7-43. Whereas, GWS 1-2-8. So they've been able to work it from their D50 or their defensive half and find a score, work their way through GWS.
Yeah, and that's one of their strengths when they're up and going. And when we're saying that kind of ball movement for them, it's looking really positive. But to be able to generate that kind of movement on repeat from your defensive half can be really difficult because you're working through the entire field. You've got to get through every player on the field. And as I said, it's really difficult.
3-3 from D50. I don't think it's a great one for the coaches. They would like to think you can actually slow them up and delay them a little bit further than that. One from kick in and two from intercept. It's moving from your back half. It's important, but you should be able to have time to slow them down, delay them a bit more.
So half-time in Canberra, in the nation's capital. It is the Cats who lead 6-7-43 to GWS 3-5-23. Very shortly, we'll catch up with Jack Revolt, who spoke to the Grandstand AFL team after the Tigers' 27-point win over Collingwood. First, though, let's pause and take the latest from the ABC Newsroom.
ABC News with Satyam Weinstein. A senior federal government minister insists she's not focusing on what happens after the election with just 2 weeks to go before polling day. Prime Minister Scott Morrison has spent the past 4 weeks outlining what a coalition government would do if re-elected. It includes wanting to pass religious discrimination laws and address protections for gay students at a later date. Liberal frontbencher Susan Lee was asked for her views.
Well, as I understand, those two issues will be treated separately after the election. I'm not focused on what happens after the election. I'm focused on what happens in the next 2 weeks. They're both important issues. Right now, we're not painting a picture of what we might do in government after the election. We're working very hard every day between now and May 21.
Federal Labor's again taking its election campaign to the Northern Territory. Labor's promising to fund clinics in Darwin and Alice Springs where people can bulk bill urgent medical care. Labor frontbencher Tanya Plibersek visited Darwin today and says Labor will invest over $135 million over 4 years to establish 50 Medicare urgent care clinics across Australia.
We're talking about things like a sprained ankle, a broken leg, a cut that needs some stitches, the sort of things that would have you waiting perhaps for hours in hospital emergency. You'll be able to walk in, you'll be able to be bulk billed.
A review into cash grants in New South Wales is recommending an overhaul of the funding system. Jake Lapham with the details.
Premier Dominic Perrottet announced the review last November, just as the government was fending off allegations of pork barrelling in the wake of corruption hearings involving former Premier Gladys Berejiklian. The review, prepared by the Department of Premier and Cabinet, makes 19 recommendations, including an overhaul of grant guidelines and mandatory compliance that would be backed by legislation. The review review also called for selection criteria and assessment guidelines to be published online. The review acknowledged the need for greater transparency to protect public confidence in the administration of government grants.
An exiled Belarusian leader says activist saboteurs in her country have played a key role in trying to thwart the Russian initial thrust to take the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. Opposition leader Svetlana Tikhonovskaya says there were 80 acts of sabotage committed against railways supplying the invading Russian forces. She says activists also shared intelligence with Ukraine.
They took pictures of military aircraft that have been launched from our airports and sent immediately to Ukrainian army. So Ukrainian army could be somehow prepared for possible attacks.
Queensland has reported 5 new COVID-related deaths. 6,662 new COVID cases were recorded. 454 people are being treated in hospital. 12 of those are in intensive care. Western Australia has recorded another 6 historic COVID-related deaths dating back to April 28th. They were a woman in her 100s, 2 women in their 90s, a man and a woman in their 80s, and a woman in her 70s. There were 9,243 new infections reported. A man's under a police guard in a Queensland hospital and another's on the run after shots were fired at police officers in Toowoomba yesterday. Elizabeth Cramsey reports.
The shots were fired from an allegedly stolen vehicle in Harristown at 2 o'clock yesterday afternoon. Police returned fire and the vehicle sped off, but a short time later a man presented at Toowoomba Hospital with gunshot wounds. He remains under police guard. No charges have been laid. One other man is still on the run. No police officers were injured in the incident and the Ethical Standards Command is investigating.
French President Emmanuel Macron will be installed for a second term today after his victory in the recent presidential runoff elections. There will be minimal pomp, however, with no street parade as he's already holding office. The nation now turns its attention to the National Assembly elections, which Mr Macron's party won with his presidency in 2017. A gas leak believed to have caused a powerful explosion that's killed at least 22 people, including a child at a luxury hotel in Cuba. At least 74 people were injured in the blast, which is believed to have occurred as a truck was supplying natural gas to the Hotel Saratoga in the capital, Havana. No guests were staying in the hotel, which was just days away from reopening after being closed for renovations. The Saratoga has been used frequently by visiting VIPs and political figures, including high-ranking US delegations. And the Chelsea Football Club says it's agreed to acquisition terms with a consortium led by part owners of the Los Angeles Dodgers baseball team. The deal's reported to be worth almost $7 billion. ABC News.
It's happening. Australia votes on the 21st.
Hi, Sabra Lane here. I'm the presenter of AM. I honestly believe it is something to celebrate in Australia. Many of us do take voting for granted. So many other people in so many other countries don't get that opportunity or to do it peacefully. The fact that we can do it peacefully, I think that's something to celebrate.
Get accurate, impartial information on your ABC radio or head to abc.net.au/Australia Votes. Election news that matters to you on the ABC.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL. On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Bruce from right half forward, kicks towards full forward, flying goal, Green, magnificent. Toby Green came from a long way back. Took 2 goes at it, but was able to drag it in. He's right in front, and he kicks his second. A big one for the Giants. They get the opening goal, the second term, as Smith takes it away for the Cats. Kicks inside forward 50. Haynes couldn't mark. Hawkins was there. So too Myers, who gathers and snaps towards goal. Oh, Stengel, like a striker in the round ball game, just tapped it through for a goal. The Fox in the box. What a poacher's goal it was. Tui runs the right half forward. Kicks the Cats in the Hawkins direction. He marks it right full forward, right on the boundary line. Hawkins snaps around the body with the left. No mistake for the Tomahawk. And big Tom Hawkins gives the Cats their 6th goal.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Half-time at Manuka. And it's the Cats who lead 6-7-43 to GWS 3-5-23. Ben Cameron will have all the numbers for you very shortly, but we just want to recap The game's played earlier today with Gold Coast at the SCG having a 14-point win over Sydney, 10-15-75 to the Swans, 8-13-61. And the Tigers have climbed up into 8th with a 27-point win over Collingwood at the MCG, 17-11-113 to 12-14-86. And after the game, Tim Hodges and the team caught up with Richmond superstar Jack Riewoldt.
Guys, down here joined by Jack Riewoldt. We spoke to Neil Barn before the game, Jack, and he said the whole club is excited. You know, they don't shy away from it because Dusty's back. How good was it to have him back out there again tonight?
Oh, no, it was good. Hodgie, it was just good to have him back, and he's obviously a very important player for us, but he's more of an important person around the football club. You know, see the boys walk taller, and when he kicked that goal, it was like a player who kicked his first goal again, so pretty self-attack to get it to him as well, so we'll take all the pats on the back for that.
He really did. Were you looking for him deliberately, or...?
If that was anyone else but Dustin, I wasn't kicking it to them, but I saw him there, and obviously we didn't think he'd come in and have a huge impact straight away, but I mean, he played pretty well, but it's just good to have him back out there, good to see him smiling, and it's good to be spending some time in the rooms after a win with him now.
What about this club where you're at the moment? Where do you think you are? It was a great win today, great to get a couple of wins in a row. You're back in the 8 right now. What's it mean?
It's a really interesting one. We're sort of probably, we feel like we're sort of mid to higher part of the table, where we obviously want to play against some good sides and get a really good challenge to sort of find out where we're at. And Collingwood are an evolving side. Probably not as young as sometimes people are led to believe, but they're a well-experienced side too. You've got to only look across every line to know that they've got good players everywhere. So we felt like we played well. We always speak about our best footy being ahead of us, so that's certainly exciting.
Jack, firstly, well done on the team's performance today. Just a word on Tom Lynch. He's had 25 and kicked 6, and he's probably left 2 out there. He just looks like he's just in ripping condition and ripping touch at the moment.
Yeah, I was calling him Lee Matthews at half time. He had 18 and kicked 5. I mean, you only got to look at the fortnight of footy he's had to know that he's pretty hot at the moment. So it's, look, I think just that big pack mark that he took to kick maybe his 4th, I reckon it was, or I'm not quite sure, but I was sitting on the bench and cheers, I celebrated, probably carried on a little bit too much, but finding some form, he obviously is confident with his marking at the moment. Goal kicking's a little bit erratic, but we can fix that during the week.
Here's Jack Riewoldt speaking with Tim Hodges and the Grandstand AFL team in Melbourne after Richmond's 27-point win over Collingwood today. Riewoldt kicked 2 goals, 2 by the way. So did Bolton Martin with 2 goals, 1, and Tom Lynch with 6 goals, 1. So with 6 goals, he moves to the top of the Coleman medal race with 27. Hawkins, who did lead the way previously, had 22 going into round 8, has 1. So he's with 23. And on that topic, third in the line of betting now, Jeremy Cameron has got 22 after 3 goals after starting the round on 19. I do like this from Craig McRae in the post-match. When asked about the difference between Collingwood, his team, and the Tigers, his quote was, we're 8 rounds in. 8 dates in a relationship, if you like, and they're married with 3 kids. Don't mind that at all. Talking about how together that they are and the 2 separate teams. Pretty good. Ben Cameron isn't married, doesn't have any kids, but he does have the numbers in front of him for this game here. Actually, someone does, married with 3 kids in this room. Hello, Dave. Meantime, Benny, what have you got for us?
The overall numbers, so Geelong 207 disposals, GWS 187. Contested possessions, GWS +1. Inside 50s, Geelong 29 to 23. The clearances, GWS 23 to 15. Ball winners overall, Mitch Duncan with 20 to half-time. Callum Ward with 17. Dangerfield with 17. Perryman 16. And Tom Green with 16 as well. Overall, Geelong 6-7-43, leading GWS 3-5-23. Cuts by 20 points.
It's a game that hasn't reached any great heights apart from Toby Green's outstanding mark. But gents, David, Shane, let's fire up for this second half. Can the Giants... Can they find something? Because history so far this season says that they have to be in front going into the final term. They haven't won a final term in 2022. Not one. They're the only team that hasn't had success in a final term of football. So they need to get a wriggle on right now, GWS.
Well, if there's any incentive in it, there's your one right there, Zip and 8 of final quarters. A huge opportunity, huge challenge. Otherwise, the season just keeps slipping away. So I'd like to see them take the game on a little bit more, try to get it back through the corridor, and just put some speed on it a little bit more, a little bit stagnant going forward in particular. And Geelong, very, very good defensively, aren't they, how they set up behind it. So there's probably limited opportunities there. But to get themselves back in this contest, just to give their forwards a bit of a chance more so. They need to work harder, but also better give them those looks.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the biggest thing for GWS is their work around the ball and their ability to buffer Geelong's pressure, get the ball out to their runners and be a bit braver and a bit more direct, take the game on a bit more with their ball movement, moving it forward. And we know that they're stacked through the midfield with talent. We saw it last week when they get meaningful possessions, how damaging they can be. So I think Leon would have really been hanging it onto the midfielders to really drive their team forward, because I feel defensively they're doing a really good job. Sam Taylor's been a brick wall down there, repelling a lot of Geelong attacks. And if they can get a bit better supply into their forwards, we know that they've got the talent down there to kick a big score really quickly. So around the ball is going to be the Giants' biggest focus.
2 debutants for the Cats today. If you've just joined us as well, Cooper Stevens started on the ground. His third year on the list, missed all of last year with an ankle injury. And he makes his debut, the 21-year-old, taken at pick 16 in the 19 national draft. And Mitch Nevitt had to start as the medical sub, and thank goodness for him and his family, he does get on the ground, makes his debut, pick 25 in the 21 national draft, the 19-year-old from the Geelong Falcons. He did get on, though, because of an injury to Buse, out with concussion after cocking an elbow from Jesse Hogan in the first quarter. He didn't return after that. I would suspect that Jesse Hogan will be in some trouble because of, 1, the elbow that was high, and 2, what's happened in regards to the impact with Buse not being able to play the rest of the game. Ben?
Doesn't bode well for GWS being down at halftime either, Clint. Zip and 3 went behind at halftime this year, and they've only won 3 of 14 second half terms this year. It doesn't look good.
So they have to do something. It has to start right now, Ben Cameron, to get us underway on Grandstand AFL.
Bruce and Blitzarves. Blitzarves brings it down, tries to follow up. Whitfield involved. Coming a little 1-2 with Taranto. He's then tackled, loses it coming. Taranto tackled by Blitzarves. And the umpire wants it. He'll ball it up. Just forward of halfway for Geelong. They lead by 20 points as they did at the half. Only 14 seconds into this second half. There's a holding free kick. It's going to go the way of the Cats. So Blitzarves to get it. He drives it low and long inside 50, looking for Hawkins. Over the back of the pack it goes. Izzy Smith is there. He flicks it down and out of play. A throw in, 450 stoppage for the Cats. Tom Hawkins.
Yes,
can be dangerous. Likes to take it out of the ruck and snap on goal in one motion. Here he goes, takes it out of the ruck, gives off the handball, away to Dangerfield, left foot kick, ricochets off an opponent in Perryman. Going in Evans, he's tackled close to the line, held up in fact. And we'll get a ball up. Still in the left forward pocket here for the Cats. No score to start this second half.
Dangerfield battling away against Taranto. Bruce wins it down, comes out the back though, Stengel snaps around the body. Cam Guthrie dropped it and then just couldn't control it. It spins away from his hands and through for a minor score. Frustration for Cameron Guthrie. He knew how close it was, actually slapped the turf in frustration. The ball coming over his left shoulder. Probably should have marked it. He knows it too. It's a minor score to Geelong. 6-8-44 to GWS 3-5-23. By the way, the AFL match review, the details are through. The Friday night games have been completed. Only one charge, Jed Anderson, for striking Andrew Brayshaw. He can accept a $2,000 sanction with an early plea.
Ball on the wing and out of play. We'll get a throw in. Any changes you've noticed to start the second half?
Yeah, I'm just wondering if Duncan's gone to half back. And does Lockie Ash play a role? He may have gone to him in the second term. He was a bit quiet in the second term.
Bruce wins it down. Taranto tracking it close to the boundary line. Picks it up with one hand cleanly, but he's tackled quickly by Smith and Dangerfield. The meat in the sandwich. They will have a little chat and a cuddle and get back to their feet. Bruce and Blitzarves again. Bruce hooks it to the back towards Tom Green. Flicks a handball away to Taranto, who runs back into traffic. Handball to Perryman. Kicks forward of the wing. And just out of the reach of Bobby Hill. I think there's a free kick that's going to come back to Taranto. It is on the logo.
Yeah, Lockie Whitfield playing his inside mid. Really want to see him now get inside to out. Really stretch the Geelong mids. And that's one of his greatest weapons is his legs. So use it and get on the end of a few.
Taranto short to Cumming. He's about to have his 18th disposal for GWS. Good user of the footy too. Tight ropes the boundary to get it away to Whitfield. Here he is, Shane Woden. He'll kick long towards the pocket. Run and jump for Hogan. Sam De Koning with the fist down in front. Green. He's tackled quickly. And we'll get a ball up. 45 metres out from the attacking goal for the Giants.
Ball thrown up. Bruce just slaps it forward. Toby Green's out after it. Gathers almost right on the 50. Got shoved out of it by Cam Guthrie. Dangerfield then involved at Tui. Back to Cam Guthrie. Kick towards left half back. Couldn't get it past Keefe. Under pressure from Hawkins. It's over the boundary line for a throw-in. Still at left half back for the Cats. Right in front of the Tom Green fan club marquee. Seems to be doing pretty good business. Canberra. Bruce wins it down straight though to Dangerfield. Tackled immediately by Tom Green, the player we spoke of. It's been held into him. Ball up will be the call.
I need to know more about that marquee. Where did it come from?
Do some research while I'll watch the footy for a second. Tap one down by the Giants. Cam Guthrie was able to affect the tackle on Taranto. Sorry?
Tom Green.
Tom Green.
Called himself.
Hayden Ballantyne wing it. Peel Thunder.
That wasn't Hayden though. That was his grandmother.
Still counts.
Part of the family. Kick inside forward. 50 from the Giants. Intercept mark. Nicely done by Taranto, who won the footy. And then got it onto Ash. Hanger. Disappointing result. Chance to come away with it now, Geelong. Stewart with the mark into the right back pocket to Kolajasny. Now to Nevitt. Moves it on again to Duncan. Goes short to Stengel. Stengel has it on centre wing, commentary side of the ground. Has to backtrack to get away from Hamilton. Can do so. Oh, that's disappointing. He put it on the boot and he's, well, not just kicked out of bounds, it's almost gone over the fence and into the crowd. Free kick to the Giants at left half back. They trail on the scoreboard by 21 points. 5.5 gone in the third.
So Keefe, Himmelberg rather, to have the free kick. He'll kick long towards the wing. Big contest going up Hogan. Unable to take the mark. Down at ground level, Kelly gives the handball to Whitfield. Started this second half well. Kicks to half forward. Green marks 51 metres out. He wheels back. Now looks inside 50. Arcs around. Runs to 50. Fires on goal. And misses away to the left-hand side. 20 points Geelong's lead as it was at the half. So he's from the ACT. That's the obvious connection. But who decided to put it up? Was it Marnica? Was it
apparently
the ACT government? His mates.
His mates had bought it. They paid for it. They all got around him, which I really like. I reckon that's fantastic. Good on him. Close is tackled over the boundary line at left half forward for the Giants. And Hogan comes away from that, holding the left elbow. A bit worse for wear. Toby Green moments ago. Dangerfield diving across his leg. Both okay at the moment. Comes to Ward now for the Giants. Kicks inside forward 50. Ball hits the deck. Hogan gathers. Tackled by Atkins. Couldn't get rid of it. Not enough prior. Umpire says we'll ball it up between centre half forward and full forward for the Giants. Attacking the left side of the commentary wing. Pool end of Marnica. Clearing kick from the Cats towards right half back. Close. Tracks it towards the boundary line. Can't quite keep in the Cam Guthrie kick. It's over for a boundary throw in again. Toby Green with a couple of goals today. He's got 2. Hogan with 1 for the Giants, for Geelong. Cameron's got 3. Stengel, Hawkins close to the others.
Here is Tom Green trying to run onto the loose footy at half forward. He can't quite pick it up. Holding free kick. It's going to go the way of the Giants, and Callum Ward sets it up to the pocket, looking for Himmelberg or Taranto. Taranto can't mark. Himmelberg gets it at ground level onto the left boot. He's tackled as he kicks. It goes to Stewart, who goes to Parford. It was unsure right as he was about to kick, ended up dropping it. It tumbles out. And a throw in. Left forward pocket here for GWS.
Quite a normal Parford. He's got a lot of it to date.
Flynn and Blitzarves stand off each other. Neither a decisive tap. Picking it up, Himmelberg squeezes a kick towards the forward pocket. There to mop up Cooper Stevens. Jams it on the boot. Out of bounds on the full. 80 metres around from the GWS goal. They'll get it back. They trail by 20 points as they did at the half. We've played 8 minutes in this third term.
Deep inside forward 50. Hogan goes up from the Callahan kick. And he marks at full forward. Should go back and kick this, Jesse Hogan, looking for his second of the day. He'll be kicking from no more than about 25 metres out on a slight angle to the left.
Had some looks early in this third term, GWS. Finally plucked one.
Jesse Hogan starts in line with the left hand behind post. He trots in, kicks on its way. Frustration, he's missed. He knows that's a bad miss. A minor score. 3-7-25 the Giants. 6-8-44. He knew at the moment it left the boot too.
Geelong move it quickly towards the outer side wing. Tui onto the footy. Splits a couple. He's tackled by Keefe eventually. Just gets a handball away. And we'll get a throw in. Neutral territory on the outer side wing. Geelong by 19 points.
Get Mitch Duncan back up on ball again. Keep around the play.
Blitzarves knocking it down. Parford flicks out a quick little handball to Evans. He's tackled by Iden. Eventually, Toby Green for GWS to Tom Green, who kicks forward of the wing, leading out Cornelio. He marks on his chest. Now he just gets those quick little feet going and kicks long into the pocket towards Bruce. Himmelberg can't mark either. Sam de Koning onto the footy for the Hoops. And now Geelong try and bounce it off halfback. Cooper Stevens kicks to the wing.
Sends it in the direction of Parford. Is able to win it to ground. Hand pass to Myers. The Cats away, sweeping it forward. It comes to Cam Guthrie. A metre in from the boundary, just shy of left half forward. Hand passes on again. Comes back to Myers. Myers pops it inside forward 50. Can't find a target. Ball hits the deck. Cameron runs over the top of it. Einan gathers, tackled by Blitzarves. At the back, Kelly for the Giants. Hands it off. Chance to clear for Cumming. Kicks high up in the air towards the outer side of the ground. Underneath it, Parford marks, not quite. He plays on instead. Came to Nevitt, might have been tackled without it. Umpire says play on. Putting his head over the football and battling away through there. Evans can't do much with it. It's stolen away by the Giants. It came from Ward, then to Cornelio. Kick towards the outer wing. Hogan dives out after it. Thought he was infringed by O'Connor. Umpires thought differently. O'Connor gathers hard up against the boundary. Gives it to Stewart. Right back inside defensive 50. This is Zach Guthrie. And he'll pop it short to Duncan, who marks it right half back. The Cats lead is 19 points. 12 gone in the third.
Duncan goes short to Zach Guthrie, who chips it to de Koning. Gives it back to Zach Guthrie, running through half-back. He'll kick the Cats towards half-forward, looking for Stengel. Goes with a big leap on Haynes, can't drag in the mark. At the back, Tui, handball to Parford. Handball away to Cam Guthrie, who waits his kick beautifully for you-know-who, Jezza Cameron on the lead. 47 metres out, slight angle to the left.
Good step by Guthrie. Could have gone on his left and boundary, and nothing comes of it. Just to take the game on a bit more. Come back through the corridor and he'll hit up. Smart.
So Jeremy Cameron with 3 first-half goals. Boot to ball from the arc of 50. And he tugs it hard right. Misses. A minor score. 6-9-45 the Cats. GWS 3-7-25. No goal for either side in this second half as yet.
Giants dangerously into the right back pocket. Inan got it away and away from Evans. Giants then kick down the outer side through Cumming. It works its way towards Hogan, who marks just shy of centre wing, outer side of Marnica. Down the line, it's moved. This is Callahan. Kicks into the right forward pocket. Had too much on it. Hill stretched. Couldn't mark. De Koning behind him. Takes the mark and then steps off his line, and Hill goes to get him. Hill looks to win the football. De Koning lucky not to give away a holding the ball decision. The Hill then taken high by Stewart. And Bobby Hill in the right forward pocket can have a shot at goal for GWS.
Lit by Tom Stewart too there.
De Koning just a little bit casual trying to get rid of it.
Yeah, he was. He tried to then go inside out, didn't he, when he came back skinny side. It's good pressure by Bobby Hill.
He kicked one of the goals of the year in the semi-final at Perth Stadium last season against the Cats. It was simply sensational. This won't be as spectacular, but it's still a tough kick. Tight angle, right forward pocket. Bobby Hill sends it on its way. It's across the face. It's kept in. Off the hands of the Cats, Kolajasny gathers. And then goes short to Myers, who marks inside the defensive 50, still for Geelong in the right back pocket.
So the dreaded Cat, Brian Myers, he kicks towards the wing, looking for Evans, off the head of Close. Header out of bounds. Maybe Cooper Hamilton, who was there as well.
The Giants are doing a much better job this quarter maintaining their field position. It feels like it's been trapped in their forward half with no reward as yet.
Flynn and blitz halves. Flynn down to Kelly for the Giants. Handball back to Perryman. Tackled quickly. Doing their silly salmon. Eventually it comes out. Now Geelong with the football. Narkle's handball trying to get it onto Atkins. Atkins back to blitz halves. Off a step. He'll kick towards half forward. Going back, Taylor drops the mark. Allows in Smith. Soccer's out in front of himself. Inside 50 for the Cats. The race is on. Going in hard and Soccer's it to the boundary line. And deliberate. Stengel will get the free kick deep in the left forward pocket.
Felt like it was 3v1. It was pretty stiff, wasn't it?
You take that free kick against rather than give it to him on top of the goal square, to be honest.
Stengel deep in the left forward pocket. Hit the goal in the second term. Will arc out quickly. Does so now. Snaps on the right and finishes beautifully. Stengel's got a couple. And the Cats have the first of the second half. They've got the last 3 goals of this match. They're 7-9-51. GWS 3-7-25. A game-high 26-point lead for Geelong.
Very harshly done by. But he accidentally hit his foot.
Accidentally on purpose, I'd say.
Yeah.
Nice work on it. But that's a bit of Geelong DNA this year. If their bigs don't get it done, they bring it to ground, and that was through a bit of a Sam Taylor furphy on the forward 50 there, but they get to work and really hunt and press the opposition really well, and it's another nice finish.
Coming up later tonight on Grandstand AFL on ABC Radio, News Radio and Sport Digital. If you're in Tasmania, South Australia, Victoria or the Northern Territory, Essendon versus Hawthorn. In WA, it's Brisbane and West Coast. As the Cats get the clearance from the middle, Dangerfield to Narkle, whose kick was smothered. Perryman was there to mop up for the Giants. Came to Whitfield. Now a chance for Kelly. Kicks down the commentary wing towards left half forward. Wanted Himmelberg. Was he infringed? He was by Zach Guthrie. He'll get the free kick. Trots inboard towards the centre square. Then kicks long towards full forward. They fly. Kolajasny at the back got a touch on it. Tui was able to get a hand pass away for the Cats to O'Connor. Kicks beyond defensive 50. A couple of Giants crash into each other. Allows the Cats to emerge. Parfitt, lovely hand pass for Narkle. It all opens up in front of him. He takes one bounce, then a second. Runs the 55 out. Spears it into the chest of Jeremy Cameron. Marking in the right forward pocket for Geelong. Cameron elects to play on. He'll wheel around, snap with the left. He's got 4. Jez's night out in the capital. Geelong have their 8. 8-9-57 to GWS 3-7-25. The Cats push their game-high lead to another mark of now 32 points at the 18-minute point of the third term. It was a movement down the commentary wing that deserved a goal. Jeremy Cameron made sure of it.
And he's put the drop punt away tonight, hasn't he, Big Chezza? He's snapping from everywhere. But
just can't win a ground ball inside 50, the Giants. The ball comes to deck.
Well, they're opposing methods at the moment. GWS, when they're going forward, are forced to those long, high balls to the top of the square and relying on trying to get a bit of that ground ball pressure, I guess, and unable to do so. And then Geelong get the ball forward fairly easily and are really direct and precise moving it.
He's got 4 straight with the banana or the snap and 2 behinds with his drop punts tonight. Jezza?
It's hard work for Sam Taylor.
Yeah.
He won out against the 2 best forwards in the comp.
Blitzarves knocking it down straight to Cam Guthrie. Held up. We'll try again. Quite funny. Jeremy Cameron told us once after a game that both his dad and his former coach, Leon Cameron, are both called Leon Cameron. So I asked him, I said, mate, have you texted the wrong bloke at the wrong time complaining about the coach? And he said, oh, yeah, a few times. Pretty laid back, Jeremy Cameron. Free kick.
Honest.
Rather that than call him dad.
He called a teacher mum at school. It's as bad as it gets. The kick from Geelong towards half forward, and Perryman bobs up to take the intercept mark. Geelong by 32 points as Perryman kicks towards the wing, and Stewart is having a mark for the Cats to get it back.
Stewart goes backwards to Duncan, right half back, kicks into the centre square to Narkle, feeds the hand pass to Kolajasny, running by, stabs the pass to Myers. Marks at the top of the 50-metre arc for the Cats.
Can't protect the corridor, can they? Giants.
He elects the play on by hand. Smith running by from 51 out. Isaac Smith misses. Out to the left-hand side. 8-10-58 now Geelong. GWS 3-7-25. 19 gone in the third on Grandstand AFL.
So coming with the kick-in duties. Runs towards the pocket and then delivers it beautifully to Hamilton. At right half back, Hamilton will kick it to the laterally leading Taranto. High half back, Tim Taranto in possession of the footy, kicks towards the logo, almost turns it over. Dangerfield drops the mark. Callum Ward goes back in. Wins it at ground level, turns it over by hand. Won by Tui. Handball to Guthrie, who kicks towards half forward, dropping the mark Myers, and Keith there to mop up for GWS. He sends it towards the outer side wing. Strong mark under some pressure from Cumming. Stengel was closing. He has it for the Giants just backward of the wing.
Isaac Cumming. And 41 in the AFL tonight for him. 23-year-old puts it down the outer wing, leading up looking for Bruce, who was taken over the shoulder. He'll get the free kick. His third club now after being a demon and a kangaroo. Bruce kicks into the right forward pocket. Flying Green. Toby Green couldn't quite get to it. Spilled down to Stewart of the Cats. To Kolajasny. To O'Connor. To Kolajasny. And they've taken it over the boundary line. They were certainly hugging the line, the Cats, as they look to go beyond their defensive 50. Just a little bit too close to it. Throw in the decision. 33 points is Geelong's lead. 21 and a bit gone in the third. Ball put back into play. Bruce with a more telling tap. Came down there to Duncan, who sharked it. His hand pass intercepted. Straight to Ward. Kicks to a 2-on-1 in favour of the Giants. Hogan front position. Has he been paid the mark? He has. Good mark. It was really strong. Kolajasny thought he'd been able to knock it away at the last minute. Hogan decides to snap around the body, and he hits the right-hand goal post. For the third time tonight, that post has been clattered into. Unlike Jeremy Cameron with the snaps, Hogan can't deliver for the Giants, who moved to be 3-8-26. Geelong 8-10-58, 22 gone in the third.
Tui with a short kick in to Narkle. He chips it to a leading Dangerfield. Socks up with Paddy D. Jumper tucked in, kicks it short. It's not really tucked in, is it? It's not like Matty Brown.
No.
Just looks smart with the socks up. Duncan now moves it on short to Zach Guthrie. Between wing and Left half back for the Cats. Zach Guthrie kicks around the boundary. Taylor's in good position and he takes the mark for GWS. A little unsure of where to go. He'll retreat towards the defensive arc. Mark taken by Haynes. Geelong leading by 32 points. They've kicked the last 4 goals. Giants' last goal coming back at the 5-minute mark of the second term as they play around with it a little bit. GWS in their defensive 50. Eventually Keefe at left half back moves it to Hogan. He marks just backward of the wing.
Hogan bounces up. 1 goal, 3 tonight for Jesse Hogan. Wants someone to lead towards the boundary line, the commentary wing that he's on. Forced to go down the line, juggled by Himmelberg. Did he mark it or did it go across the line? Umpire says no. Juggled over the line. It'll be a throw-in just forward of centre wing for the Giants.
Well, that was ultimately unsuccessful. I don't mind that idea for the Giants, working the ball around and owning it a little bit, but make Geelong work defensively a bit more.
Thrown in. Bruce wins it down. Nevitt first to get to it, though, for the Cats. The debutant to Smith. Clever just tapped it on to Atkins, who gathered. Hand pass back to Smith. Sends the Cats down the corridor. Parfitt near it, leaping up into the air. Iden marks. It's a good mark, too, defensively. And Parfitt battle away for a bit, and Iden has it inside his defensive 50. It's Geelong by 32, 23 gone in the third. Grandstand AFL, ABC Radio, ABC News Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Iden laterally to Whitfield, who goes short to Taranto.
It's all delayed though, isn't it? They just slowing them up, force them long down the line. It's a good trap.
Taranto, as Shane Woden told us, now goes long down the line, trying to find Flynn. In front and square. Canelio gets a little kick away. Dangerfield comes in, hacks it off the deck. Inside 50 for the Cats. Over the back of the pack it goes. Hawkins fighting after it. Involved there, Haynes. Now Cameron goes in. Arriving, coming, is clean. He gets it on the boot, clears the danger. The mark will be taken by Isaac Smith. Gives it off to Duncan. Looks back inside 50 for the Cats. Not the 15. Cam Guthrie called to play on. Handball away to his brother Zach. Zach handball to Isaac Smith. He runs a little arc. Handball back to Cam Guthrie, who chips into the pocket looking for Stengel. Nice spoil coming there on that occasion from Callaghan, but eventually it comes back to Stengel. Snaps towards goal and misses. A little narrow, a minor score. Geelong's lead out to 33 points. 5.5 goals they lead over GWS. 25 minutes into the third term.
Coming on a short run, steps forward, got away from an opponent, kicks towards the outer wing. Bruce had 3 to beat, had the height advantage, couldn't mark, brought it to ground, got a hand pass to Kelly. Now they're away through Callaghan. Chance for Hill. Hand passing forward to Green, kicks inside forward 50, not what he was hoping for. Turns it over. Defensively marked there by the Cats. Into it, goes back to Nevitt at full back, pops a kick short. This is Kolajasny. Kolajasny beyond defensive 50 towards right half back to Close, who marks for the Cats as we close in on three-quarter time. Earlier today, Richmond by 27 over the Magpies. The Gold Coast by 14 over the Swans.
Close, trying to go short for Jeremy Cameron. Burst through his hands, and then Haynes at the fall of the ball for the Giants. Handball away to a teammate who's quickly tackled. And we'll get a ball up on the wing. Tom Green at the bottom of the pack.
Need more out of Himmelberg. I don't know whether he flip the magnets and throw him down back and do something different and get him up on the wing and let him run. Just not do anything at the moment as a key forward. It hasn't been easy for him at times where it's how it's coming in. You've got to get him in the game a bit more.
Free kick from the stoppage. It's going to go the way of Blitzarves. Blitzarves on his right boot. Sends it towards half forward. Taylor again. Strong intercept mark.
Has it been their best?
Been good.
Close to, I think.
This will be his 12th disposal. As he kicks along towards the wing, a big fly coming from Bruce. A free kick given away. GWS will get the advantage as they move it down the wing.
We'll get some more news from Andrew Mays when we preview the Bombers versus Hawthorn shortly, but the Bombers have been forced to make 5 late changes before facing Hawthorn. Wow. Illness has got most of them. More on that very shortly with Andrew Mays as Bruce for the Giants. Kicks deep inside forward 50. Duncan up defensively. Couldn't mark. Hill looked to tap it to his own advantage. Came out to Perryman for the Giants. Hand pass forward. Duncan got in the way. Knocked away from him. Taranto moves it on to Perryman. Now on to Tom Green. Not quite. The fan club would have been up. They lifted the roof off the marquee. But he misses to the left-hand side. 3-9-27 the Giants, 8-11-59 the Cats, 28 gone in the third.
Stewart at fullback for the Cats. He kicks to the back pocket. Atkins able to accept it. Sam Taylor only listed as 4 marks. I would have thought it was more than that, but has been resolute down back for them. And playing against the Tom and Jeremy show, it's not easy. As De Koning will kick the hoops towards the wing. Dangerfield launches. Over the back of the pack it goes. Smith soccers it out. And the siren sounds for three-quarter time. 2 goals to zip the way of Geelong in that third term. And they might have made their move. They lead by 32 points as we turn for home in the nation's capital.
So the goal kickers for the Cats. Jeremy Cameron's got 4. Tyson Stengel with 2. Hawkins with 1. Close with 1 as well. While for GWS, the only goal kickers of the game, as we were at half-time. 2 to Toby Green, 1 to Jesse Hogan. Geelong lead by 32 points wherever you're listening. From Canberra on ABC Radio, ABC News Radio and ABC Sport Digital, this is Grandstand, AFL.
Conversations.
Spend an hour in the life of someone else.
You go very raw and you feel a whole layer of skin has been peeled off. Someone who has seen and done remarkable things.
I didn't stand up next to a safe with a doctor's stethoscope and pick the numbers, but we used to open safes, yeah.
Hear the latest conversations weekday mornings from 11 on ABC Radio.
Or anytime on the ABC Listen app.
The 2022 AFL Premiership season.
Grandstand AFL. On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
Atkins back to blitz halves. Off a step, he'll kick towards half forward. Going back, Taylor drops the mark. Allows in Smith. Soccer's out in front of himself. Inside 50 for the Cats. The race is on. Going in, Iden soccers it to the boundary line. And deliberate. Stengel will get the free kick deep in the left forward pocket. Get the goal in the second term. Lark out quickly, does so now, snaps on the right, finishes beautifully. Stengel's got a couple, and the Cats have the first of the second half. They've got the last 3 goals of this match.
Harper, lovely hand pass for Narkle. It all opens up in front of him. He takes 1 bounce, then a second, runs the 55 out, spears it into the chest of Jeremy Cameron. Markey in the right forward pocket for Geelong. Cameron elects to play on. He'll wheel around, snap with the left. He's got 4. Jez's night out in the capital.
This is the 2022 AFL Premiership season.
On ABC Radio and ABC Sport Digital.
At Manuka, the Cats lead the Giants by 32 points at three-quarter time. It's an extraordinary afternoon for the Bombers. Let's find out what's happening. Essendon versus Hawthorn will be our next stop if you're in Tasmania, South Australia, Victoria or the Northern Territory. Goodness me, what is happening, Andrew Mays?
Clint, if you had the team sheet before, rip it up because it has all been thrown out the window. Already 2 changes at the Bombers with Nick Hind and Nick Bryan coming in for the clash against Hawthorn tonight. Stringer and Cox were out. But there's 5 late changes as an illness has swept through the Bombers. So Jordan Ridley, Jake Kelly, Matt Guelphy, Alec Waterman and Sam Durham have also come to illness. And the 4 emergencies, Braden Ham, Kane Baldwin, Brandon Zirk-Thatcher and Aaron Francis are going to play, as is Devon Smith, who was actually supposed to be playing a mini pre-season essentially, not available for selection, but he's had to put his hand up and say, sub me in. So he's back tonight, Devon Smith, after essentially committing to not playing for the next fortnight. Alistair Lord will come in as well. He'll make his debut as the medical sub. There's not great news over at the Hawks either, because Chad Wingard was supposed to be playing his 200th game tonight. He's a late withdrawal due to illness. So that's a big out for Hawthorn. With McDonald coming back in, Connor McDonald, who was fairly good last week. But the story here are the Dons. 5 changes, illness sweeping through the club. And if it wasn't hard enough for the Bombers, it might even be a little bit harder now. Looking forward to this one, though. You never know what you're going to get under the roof. Perfect conditions. Maybe we'll get a bit of a shootout. Hopefully, we'll have a good night here under the roof at Docklands. So just repeating that news, Clint, 5 changes for the Bombers, in addition to their 2 already forced changes through injury. It's going to be a very different-looking Essendon side running out in about 45 minutes' time that was named on Thursday night. Looking forward to it.
Good on you, Andrew. Good luck to the Bombers. Good luck to the commentators with all those changes. Essendon versus Hawthorn coming up for most of the nation. If you're in WA, you'll be off to Brisbane against the West Coast Eagles. No late changes there. Goodness me, West Coast couldn't afford to lose anyone else. Brisbane Lions have Tom Berry as their medical sub, Declan Mountford the medical sub for the Eagles. Well, that's taken a lot of our time away from our experts with good reason, though. That's remarkable for Essendon. But what have you made of this so far? And what can come out of this now for the Giants? I ask you. Shane Woden, David Mundy.
I'm sure a lot can come out for them at the moment. They look a bit stagnant at the moment. They just can't get the ball moving at all, and it's a kick and hope, really, when they go in, don't they, mate? And there's just no ground ball coverage inside 15. It just comes out too easily. I think they're defending the ground really well. Geelong at the present, and they can slingshot that and have open looks. So, where it goes now, it probably can open up a little bit more now, really, can't it, with Geelong, how the way Geelong's playing?
Yeah, hopefully GWS keep backing themselves in that third quarter. They went for a few 45s, which they turned over. Ultimately, Geelong in a really good position on the field. Got some really good looks going forward themselves off the back of those turnovers. But hopefully we see GWS keep taking the game on, try and generate that good ball movement through the corridor, get their runners involved off half-back and through the midfield, and can really put some pressure on and be a bit more deliberate going forward with the ball inside 50. We saw that quarter, they had a really great field position for a long time, but they were just bombing it in. And with no great aerial threat down there, with no bigs, it makes it really difficult.
Some of the numbers: Mitch Duncan, 27 disposals, Dangerfield 24, Cumming with 23, Callum Ward with 22, contested possessions +9 GWS, clearances +4 GWS.
So we get underway in the final term. Flynn won it down, but stolen away by the Cats, and Blitzarms, who does the ruck work, is able to gather, kicks inside forward 50. Haynes, fluke, couldn't mark. Down again, trying to work it away. Evans, his head over the football, Parfitt, can't get rid of it. It's locked in. There'll be a ball up inside forward 50. Cats going to the left of the broadcast position in this turn, the pool end of Marnica. Hawkins to tap it over his shoulder. Read though by Flynn, who threw it on the boot and kicks out of bounds on the full. Free kicks go the way of the Cats. About 53 out from goal. Beyond the boundary is Stewart. He steers it back in ball. This is O'Connor. Goes on a little bit of a run. O'Connor puts it back towards full forward. Dangerfield came from a long way back and flew but couldn't mark. Hawkins on the deck, slapped it out. Taranto able to gather, well tackled by Smith. No prior opportunity. He was wrapped up the moment he gathered the football. It's a ball up between centre half forward and full forward for the Cats. Smith with a little look at the umpire as he got up. No remonstrating though as Hawkins wins the tap down. The Giants should be able to clear through Kelly. He kicks long beyond defensive 50 towards left half back. Met by Kolajasny, who gathered the bouncing football, sends it back inside forward 50. Taylor flew, couldn't mark. Evans was there at the back. Hand pass meant for close, couldn't pick it up. Flynn walks over the football, allows Taylor to gather. He's tackled by Evans. Umpire will ball it up again. Still in the right forward pocket for Geelong. No change to that score as it was at three-quarter time. The Cats by 32.
Forward 50 ball up. Taylor able to get a handball away to Keefe, who goes with the big check side from the back pocket towards the wing. Nobody able to take the mark there. O'Connor at ground level. Handball to Blitzarves for the Cats. Handball to Kolajasny. Handball away to De Koning. Back to Kolajasny. Bounces his kick to Cameron. Cameron's handball. Turnover. Straight to Bruce. Now the Giants at halfback. Coming. Will kick a little bouncing ball around the wing. Hogan gathers cleanly. Kicks long to half forward for GWS. Finds the chest of Toby Green. Wheels and looks inside 50. Himmelberg marks. 45 metres out. Has Taranto short. Doesn't want it. He goes back as if he's going to kick for the sticks.
Take responsibility. That's better.
Called for more from him.
Yeah. Needs to.
Well, even from the half-back line, Caniglio's handball out to Cummings really broke that circle. It was over a couple of metres, diffused that pressure.
So here is Himmelberg. If the Giants are to have any chance, you feel like they need this. He's given it a good ride. It's a goal. There's life in this game yet. The Giants fourth. They bring it back to 26 points. They're 4-9-33. Geelong 8-11-59, 3 minutes into the fourth.
And we've asked for a bit more from him, but that's much more his go, isn't it? That kind of fast ball movement, getting in behind the defence and finding those holes to lead back up into.
He's a genuine athlete too, isn't he? He can get up and get the ground, a contest, and aerially, when you've got the big bodies anchoring down, he's not as strong, but he's a big boy. Get him opens field.
They've got games to come against Carlton at Giants Stadium and then the West Coast Eagles at Giants Stadium. They can somehow fight their way back into this contest. Perhaps a silly chance to get on a bit of a roll here, GWS. They need to for the sake of their season. A great bounce by the umpire. Flynn was able to get there, won it down to Dangerfield, who was taken high. Geelong will take the advantage. Narkle kicks inside forward 50. Haynes was up, got a touch on it, spilled down to Cummings of the Giants. Cummings kicks beyond defensive 50. That's over the boundary line for a throw-in. He disposes that for Cummings. 26 now. 23 kicks and 3 hand passes, 6 marks.
Gets a few cheapies with the kick in though, I reckon.
We've all done that.
11 behinds. He's taken the majority of them.
That's true, but he has been busy. Umpire spots a free kick.
He's tried to make the play a bit too at times. You have to as a running back.
And such a good user generally, isn't he?
Harford has the footy. Free against Tom Green. Harford on a bit of a run inboard. He'll go long inside their forward 50. That's a good fly from Taylor and a fine mark too. Up against Evans. He'll have it in the right back pocket for the Giants.
Tried hard all day. Sam Taylor gives it off to Perryman. Running through half back. He kicks to the wing. Marking contest forms. 2 pairs. No mark taken at the fall of the ball. Stewart. Handball to Koning. Handball to Tui. Geelong to half forward. Myers marks. Feints to handball. Skips back off the mark. Gives it off to Zach Guthrie. He'll kick to full forward. Down there is Smith. Going back, dropping the mark. Haynes now coming through eventually. Flynn. Able to mop up. Handball away to Kelly. Kelly kicks up the middle. Misses the target. It comes to Zach Guthrie. Breaks the 50. Runs to 45. Kicks the goal. Zach Guthrie with a clean finish. And Geelong, they kick away again. It's back out to 32 points. 9-11-65 to 4-9-33. 6 minutes into the fourth.
Been all right, Zach Guthrie. That was a poor decision or poor skill by Kelly. They're both really had a one-on-one. They had it more direct. Maybe Kelly.
Yeah, again, Geelong just torching them off turnover, really. Setting the ground up really well, giving themselves lots of options. And when they turn the ball over, really looking corridor. Even as GWS won that ball back, it was off the back of Geelong creating a turnover, moving it through the corridor and getting it in forward. When you set the ground up like they have tonight, Geelong, you have numbers behind and open side a lot.
6 goals, 6. Geelong's 9-11 scored from turnover. As Blitzarms takes it away from the restart, kicked around the body. Whitfield marked. Centre half back, played on immediately to Hamilton, comes down the line, and there's Zach Guthrie again. His first goal of the season.
Nice mark.
Short time ago. It was the late inclusion after the injury to Reece Stanley. Hill has it now for the Giants on the commentary wing. Came to Taranto, moved it inboard to Whitfield from commentary edge of the centre circles. He flares it out towards Ash. Stepped inside an opponent. Not a great kick. Bounced in front of Kelly. Has to backtrack. Wants someone to come towards him. Never applied pressure. Kick from Kelly is poor. A couple of mistakes normally you wouldn't see from a player of Josh Kelly's skills. It's out of bounds on the full.
It's the first one too.
Shot of Leon Cameron looking bemused and like a coach who was maybe a little short of ideas. As Geelong move it to left half back. Atkins gives it off to Isaac Smith running by, who on that left foot finds Cooper Stevens on debut. Moves it on nicely to Blitzarves. Now forward of the wing, Geelong. Handball away to the run of Smith again. Long left leg into the pocket, looking for a marker. Haynes brings it down. Gets a little handball away. Over the top of the football, Evans. Tom Green picks it up for the Orange. And now pinpoints Blitzarves. Those long arms stick out and take the thieving mark for Geelong. He moves it infield to the AFL logo and Stewart. Geelong by 32 points.
Stewart, inside forward 50. Parfitt was all on his own. And he takes the mark just about right in front of the big sticks. He'll put boot to ball from less than 45.
Just own the corridor tonight, haven't they? Offensively. On defence, I reckon. Great density in there for GWS not to use it either.
Brandon Parfitt. Shocking kick. Started out to the left, swung back a little bit, but it's only ever going to be a minor score. So another behind to the Cats total. 9-12-66. GWS 4-9-33. Season sliding away for the Giants.
Perryman with the kick in to Tom Green at right half back for the Giants. Doesn't have anywhere he really likes, so just kicks high and hopes, and Blitzarves is able to mark for the Cats. Just forward of the wing, broadcast side of the ground. Blitzarves arcs around, bumps it high and long inside 50. Haynes comes in from the side, spills down into the hands of Tom Green. Close steals it to Stengel from deep in the pocket. His kick goes 2 metres and trickles through for a behind. Geelong move along to 9-13-67 rather, as the scoreboard ticks over to 4-9-33. Played 10 minutes in this fourth term.
34 points, the Cats' advantage. They'll win it through Evans in the middle of the ground. Hand pass in the direction of Duncan. Got it to Parfitt. Hand pass up in the air. Whitfield underneath it for the Giants. To Himmelberg. Sweeps a hand pass forward to absolutely no one in particular. And Cornelio, the nearest Giant to it, has to wrap up the Cats' opponent in O'Connor. Gives away the free kick as well. Connor will have it. Goes back inside his defensive 50. Into the Cats build from here as Duncan finds Stewart with the foot pass. He marks and plays on to Blitzarves beyond defensive 50 at left half back. Cats looking for their 5th win of the season. Not quite a milestone, but pretty close for Chris Scott as Blitzarves sent it towards the commentary wing. Those bump into each other. Going to ground was Dangerfield, and so too was Bruce. And Dangerfield is the player who's infringed. Bruce will get the free kick. Geelong's win tonight, Chris Scott will bring up his 184th win as Geelong coach to equal Reg Hickey's record of 184. Most wins by a Geelong coach. Kicks inside forward 50 for the Giants. Colin Jasny marks, moves it to Cam Guthrie, now to Tui. Hand passes it right half back to Duncan, and Duncan will head towards the outer wing. Nicely worked once more, and Stengel marks.
So Stengel, happy to just assess for the time being. Very short kick to Cam Guthrie, who gives it back to Stengel, runs forward of the wing. He'll go low and inside 50. Dangerfield takes the mark. 35 metres out, deep in the left forward pocket.
Haven't closed the ground off well with GWS when it goes forward, do they?
No, they've been poor referencing defensively. Open side.
Yeah.
Dangerfield wants to chip it further into the pocket, closer to goal, and the Tomahawk, he takes a nice mark, hemmed up against the boundary line.
It's great vision from behind the goals there with that. It's like a cherry picker. Just really to reference, and Duncan getting out open side.
Tom Hawkins deep in the pocket, goes with the left foot banana. He can't quite bend it back enough. Across the face. Geelong lead by 36 points, 6 goals neat as it stands.
Cold night in the capital. Whitfield sends it into the middle of the ground. No mark taken off the hands of Ward. Cameron slaps it forward for the Cats. Whitfield got in the way. Was able to work it to ground. Now Kennedy broke one tackle. Gets boots a ball. Kicks towards the commentary wing. Hill was there. Did well to gather. Hand pass forward to Taranto. Kicks towards right half forward. Well spoiled there by De Koning. Comes at the back to Stewart. And Stewart calmly again to De Koning, marking just inside his defensive 50. Kicks towards left half back. This is Zach Guthrie. Cats just content to hold onto the footy at the moment and work it around. 13 gone in his final turn. Zach Guthrie kicks to a pack. Centre wing commentary side. Off the back, it's still down to Stevens on debut, who's seen by coming over the boundary line for a throw-in.
It's got no energy, GWS. Zip. A bit lifeless at the moment.
Hasn't been a happy hunting ground, Monica, for the Giants of late. They've lost their past 4. They're going to lose 5 here in Canberra.
From the throw-in, neither ruck decisive going in. Cooper Stevens hard and low, the debutant. Held in. We'll do it again. Geelong, with this win, move into 5th. Blitzarves was taken out by Callan Ward. Free kick will go to Blitzarves. Ward just ran straight into the ruckman. I don't know what happened there. Blitzarves feeds it off to Stewart. Shorts his kick to Cam Guthrie, who gives it back to Stewart. Now he goes long towards the goal square. Cameron's down there. Taylor does well, or does he? He's impeded him, and it'll be a free kick. And Sam Taylor stands for a good few seconds with his hands out. The umpire elects not to pay the 50.
Just no support. Aerially, nothing for him. He's battled manful today, I think.
Cameron will arc around on the right, the non-preferred, and sneak it through. He's got a handful. 5 for Big Jezza. And I love saying this. Cameron's kicked the bag.
I feel like they're folding back too. Giants, but they didn't fold back deep enough to even give help to Sam Taylor. Just caught in no man's land, doing nothing. No pressure on ball carrier either.
Yeah, it was a slow free kick from the stoppage as well, so you'd expect a little bit more support, fill the lanes and help him out when the ball comes in long and high like it did. But even on the 45, Cam Guthrie found a big pocket of space and was one to drive it inside 50 there. So Geelong really controlling this game, I think, in every facet. It feels like they're getting it done around the contest, can pressure in and then work the ball out at will almost. And once they get into open space, they look really dangerous and using the ball really well, putting the Giants' defence under an immense pressure.
The restart cleans up and just slapping it forward. Only as far as Atkins, though, for the Cats across half back. Gave it to De Koning. On to Parfitt. Kicks to Myers, who marks centre wing on the logo, out of sight of the ground. Moving it short again to Cam Guthrie, who marks. Pops it back into De Koning. Short hand pass again. To move around through Zach Guthrie, and then the spearing kick inside forward 50 has seen Hawkins hit the deck from the boot of Duncan. He's in a bit of strife here. Hawkins gets up very slowly. Parfitt, hand pass back towards Myers, pops a hand pass to Tui. Deep in the right forward pocket, goes towards goal. Marked by Whitfield on the behind line. It was going across the face of goal anyway. To Cumming, to Ward, who dropped it and then had to slap it after the ball ricocheted away from him. Chance to move it on again. It comes eventually to Toby Green. He'll kick towards right half forward. It's marked there by Iden of the Giants.
Iden might have been moved forward in a little bit of space. Now he's a little unsure of where to go next. He'll just drive it long towards Himmelberg, who goes up. Sam De Koning puts his big fist through it. There to mop up his Flynn. It comes down to Toby Green. Floats it on goal. Just to the left-hand side. A minor score for Toby. GWS. They move along to 4-10-34. Geelong 10-14-74. 40 points. The advantage to the Hoops.
Hit the deck very hard before Tom Hawkins. Seeing a replay of that with full weight of O'Keefe coming over Keefe coming over the top of him.
Plus his own 104.
Yes. Which would hit the turf a fair amount of velocity. He's okay now and running around. Kicks towards left half forward for the Cats. Stengel wraps up coming. You get the free kick. Incorrect disposal. Stengel takes it, sends it inside forward 50. Cameron had 2 to beat. Got hands to it. Still down to Taylor defensively for the Giants. Works it out into space in the left back pocket. Callahan goes beyond defensive 50 and he finds Himmelberg marking in front of the Tom Green fan club marquee, which I just thought I'd reference again in his final term.
Here's Callahan cruising by, receiving the handball, kicking forward to the wing. Whitfield going up. Can't take the mark. Atkins brings it down, keeps his feet, wins it back. Gives it to O'Connor, who kicks the Cats forward of the wing. Tui carefully chips it over the top to Myers. Has Cam Guthrie running by. Shorts it for Narkle. And it's on his chest. 45 metres out, slight angle to the right.
Again, it's all slow and wide for GWS. There's not even a look to come back through the middle of the ground and try and see if there's a hole there or someone popping in. Dangerous kick to Whitfield. Don't know what he's complaining about.
Here goes Narkle.
Off turnover.
In a contract year for him. Important to put his best foot forward. 48 metres out with the drop punt. It's just fading right. No good. 10-15-75 the Cats. GWS 4-10-34. 41 points the advantage. 19 into the fourth.
Coming. Sends it right down the middle towards the centre circles. Good kick. No mark taken. Worked back by the Cats. Came to Blitzarps and then to Zach Guthrie towards Narkle on the outer side. He can't mark. The Giants have numbers. They can mop it up. It comes to Cornelio. Short to Bruce. Hand passing forward to Whitfield. Not a great hand pass over the shoulder. Perryman's able to get there first. Hand pass to Bruce. Still a Giant down off the ball at the moment. It's Whitfield to Iden. Forward again to Ward from centre half forward. Ward kicks long towards goal. It's missing to the left-hand side. A minor score. 10-15-75 Geelong. 4-11-35. That's GWS. Nick Haynes was the player as he went to ground. He's done himself a disservice. Ankle, knee. Not sure. Cats quickly move it towards the outer wing. Their lead, 40 points.
Here's Danger moving it short to the triple premiership player, Isaac Smith. Wants to switch it. Kicks into the middle of the ground and Sam De Koning. He wants to go right up the middle. Now he kicks it long inside 50 for Geelong. Standing at the front. Ash can't take the mark. Cooper Stevens is quickly tackled after getting it off hands. And a ball up 45 metres out from the attacking goal for the Cats. Umpire puts it aloft. Proust tries to take it out of the right. Can't do so. Cooper Stevens back with the footy, chipping it to the pocket, and Stengel again.
Good.
45 metres out, a 45-degree angle left of centre.
A big day for a small forward in the graveyard shift.
Yeah, Death Valley.
But again, if you're prepared to work, you'll get rewarded. A good day if he finishes this one.
This will be disposal number 20. He's got 2-2 on the day already. Take a good kick from here. He'll kick from just inside the arc. Arcs out to the right at the last moment. Starts it right. Brings it back right through the middle. Have yourself a day, Tyson Stengel. 3 majors to go along with the 20 disposals. Geelong out by 46. 11-15-81 to 4-11-35 as we close in on the final siren in the nation's capital.
Just strikes me as a player at the moment who knows his role, has a really defined role within the Geelong structure, and obviously with a couple of big boys up forward, it would primarily centre around supporting those guys, particularly when the ball hits the deck. But when he gets a chance, when he's got his hands on the footy, he's obviously highly skilled, very dangerous small forward, and he's capitalised tonight. He's done really well.
Just waltz through that area unopposed. I want to defend him. Shows where probably the mindset the Giants are at the moment.
Fourth time he's kicked 3 goals in a game. Career best of 4. Tyson Stengel. Gives the Cats their 11th to a 46-point lead. Giants through Kelly. Now back to Ash. He's able to step away from the Debbie Stevens games that keep coming. He kicks to left half forward. Hogan. Hand pass to Whitfield. Tackled by Kolajasny. He tried to get a hand pass out and we pinged for holding the ball. Pryor was there. Kolajasny wrapped him up. Jake Kolajasny in game 140. Looked to go across the ground for a moment and sends it towards the boundary line. It's been marked by Duncan at right half back, a metre in from the boundary.
Those lanes, there's so much space.
Duncan down the line. Hawkins flew through the fingertips, taken by Parfitt and then taken by Kennedy over the boundary line with Parfitt still possessing the football. So it's going to be a throw-in just forward of the wing for the Cats. His final term kicking the pool end of Manuka Oval, and their lead remains 46 points over the Giants.
Litzarves feeds Narkle from the ruck tap, who gives it off to Smith. Snaps towards half forward for the Cats. Whitfield drops the mark. Can recover inside his D50. Stops props, goes on the left. Kicks the Giants beyond it to Tom Green. Kennedy, rather.
Look alike from afar.
Kennedy at left half back. Kick it long. Sam de Koning upstairs. Doesn't quite complete the mark. Now Kolajasny picks it up off the deck. Gets a handball moving forward to Parfitt. Coming through Taranto for GWS. Gives it off towards Cornelio. Now Tom Green bursting through. Takes a bounce. About to be run down. Eventually gets his kick away. It's impacted under pressure. And Myers onto the loose footy for the Cats at halfback.
To Tui by hand to Duncan. Back to Tui on the logo. Outer wing. Tui runs by and then stabs the pass forward to Blitzarves. Hand pass back to Tui. Sweeps it into Narkle in the right forward pocket. This would be a wonderful goal. It is. Narkle right up against the boundary. He kicks the Cats 12th. Sublime finish after a lovely build-up. And the Cats' lead is now 52 points at the 25-minute mark of the fourth.
Just time and space. Again, off turnover. It really hurt them, that score source. Just a modern game, really. It was more the intent to chase too on Tom Green, just to force that error.
Yeah, I was going to say, the further this game goes, I think the further the teams are apart with their ability to work and execute going both ways. Zach Tui is a part of pressuring Tom Green in that play to generate the turnover and then runs the length of the field and sets up that goal. So Geelong really separating the game now through greater work rate.
Some of their most important players on the bench as well. Tom Stewart, Patrick Dangerfield, Cam Guthrie. Just put them on ice as they win it out of the middle again. Going forward, here's Cooper Stevens running back into the traffic, sweeping a handball away towards Nevitt. Myers picks it up. His handball errant. GWS win it back. Taranto bursting back through the traffic. Now kicks laterally out towards Whitfield. Whitfield wants to bite off the kick into the corridor. Finds Ash. Lucky Ash. Switching it out towards left half forward. Looking for Callaghan, who marks. Plays on. Puts himself under pressure now. He's unsure, gesticulating, kicking. And a good kick to Bruce, who drops the mark under pressure. And never trying to get a handball away. Evans off towards Kolajasny, who's run down. Green's got him. Comes out to Ash again. Ash will dump it on the left boot. High ball towards full forward. And then a mark. Narkle, the goal kicker, doing the defensive work as well and mopping up at fullback.
Cats have put Duncan, Dangerfield, Cam Guthrie and Stewart all on the bench for the last few minutes of this game. So 4 of their top 6 possession winners just take a seat. This game is ours, has been for some time.
I don't reckon the Hawks ever been iced in late stages of games.
No, there's always a chance for another goal. What are you talking about?
34-year-old, I'll be
It's nothing. Barra's 36.
That's exactly right.
Young whippersnapper, isn't he, Barra?
He is. He's making his way back to the forward 50, though. It's on the Hawk.
Every opportunity, understandably so. There's O'Connor beyond the defensive 50. And here's young man on debut we spoke about before, Mitch Nevitt, taking a mark at left half back. And it's going to be 50 metres as well. So bit of frustration shown by Perryman here. Let's see what it was for, whether he moved slightly off the mark or someone had come inside the protected area. More troubles for the Giants. Took a bit of pressure off their coach with the win last week over Adelaide, but it would be piled back on again with the lopsided nature of this scoreline.
Kick it top, here he goes.
Nevitt, he is going to torpedo. From about 65 out, he never really got onto that at all. But will it bounce through for a goal?
It really did.
They all stopped for a moment and saw it continue on. Well, you wouldn't believe it. It's just the behinds. The Cats win in the capital. Jeremy Cameron kicking 5. Geelong by 53 points over GWS. 12-16-88 to the Giants 4-11-35. GWS's run at this ground continues to frustrate. They've now lost their past 5 games in Canberra. The Cats, they get back into the winners list. The goal kickers, Cameron with 5, 3 to Stengel, singles to Narkle, Hawkins, Guthrie and Close. While for GWS, 2 to Green, that's Toby, 1 to Hogan and 1 to Himmelberg. The Cats bounce back with a 53-point win. So it was the Cats by 13 points at quarter time. They extended that to 20 points at the half. They had the game in their keeping by three-quarter time, leading by 32 and going on for a percentage-boosting victory to win by 53. It's a handy result for Geelong after last week's disappointment, but the Cats are right back in the mix. To bring you the club song from around the ground from the speakers at Manuka. Geelong climb up into 5th spot. 20 points and a percentage that went from 118.5 to now 126.3. They've got the Saints to come next Saturday afternoon at the Docklands. The Giants will take on Carlton. It's the middle game on the Sunday. First of 2 games at home for GWS. Giants Stadium. And then they've got the Eagles the week after. Geelong by 53 points. How did you assess things? David Mundy, Shane Woden, our experts on Grandstand AFL.
Well, I think Geelong just controlled things really well. Obviously, welcoming back Paddy Dangerfield, he had a really great game. I think they found one in Cooper Stevens. I thought he was really solid for a first-game player. He looked really composed and energetic around the ball. But to have half the amount of hit-outs and he come out equal in clearances, I think speaks to what Geelong are and how they play. They pressure around the ball is huge for them, and they're able to generate ground balls, get the ball in their hands, and then work the ball through that pressure really well. And I think ultimately, for me, that's what really separated the two sides, their ability to absorb that first layer of pressure, get it out effectively to a teammate's advantage, and then capitalise, making good decisions going forward off the back of that.
It says a lot for where GWS is at the moment, isn't it? Just, I reckon they're real lacklustre in that second half in particular. Thought they were up for the fight, and then as soon as really Geelong put the foot down and put a gap on them, they just weren't up to it or didn't want to do it. It was really evident, probably an effort where Geelong were really good, and then their work rate both ways. One just had an appetite to win the ball back, whether that's in their front half or ability to slide back and help out their back six and support, and then off turnover they went. And I really loved how they moved the footy tonight. If there was options through the corridor, they took it and used it and were really clever with it. If not, they're happy to go long and straight and then get it deep to their two big guys. But yeah, I just thought a real team effort from Geelong tonight, all across the board. You spoke about the young boys coming in. I thought, Cooper Stevens great. And the other young guy too was Nevitt was, after his first couple, it was really solid, playing on a wing. And their experienced boys were terrific again. Probably a little sting after last week. mate, the Cats, and they bounced back well tonight.
They did. They set the ground up really well. I've referenced it a few times, but their defensive depth, they get behind the ball, and their ability to help each other out. And then through the middle of the ground to be able to force the Giants into those long kicks in the middle of the ground and going into their forward 50 all night, and forcing GWS to do that, not allowing them to change their style, really set them up. And then once they won the ball back, it felt like they could get to the open side and through the corridor at will with really great work rate and really great shape. So a really promising performance from Geelong.
Yeah, it certainly was. GWS just refused to protect the corridor tonight. It was open all night. Options for them. But what I liked was that Geelong were patient with it. You know, if it wasn't on in the first 3 or 4 seconds, you know, they were prepared to wait for the umpire to call play on, and then something would pop up late. They'd hit it, and then once you get in that bubble, the ability to overlap and go quick through the corridor, they had plenty of options.
Patrick Dangerfield returned to the Cats side after missing the past 2 weeks with a caught calf. As part of a Cats team that won by 53 points thanks to Fox Footy. Here he is talking to Ben Dixon.
Danger, perfectly executed. Giants coming off a big win last week. What was coming into that game? What did you have to take care of with the Giants game?
Well, we start with us and what we do well, and obviously we've got to execute our side of things, our pressure, how we use the ball. We've got some big power forwards. We want to give them opportunities, and then, you know, it's working through how to nullify the ability that GWS have, the players that they have. They've got some incredible players, so we're trying to limit their impact, and sort of it was especially prudent tonight given the fact that we lost Big Reece, and Blitz did a phenomenal job rucking against Big Prusy, who's 7'2" or something. He's just enormous. But really proud of the guys, executed what we needed to do.
What about you? We spoke three-quarter time about how well Geelong's managing players now, and you've had a couple of weeks off. Still look like you've got plenty of petrol in the tank at the end of this one.
Yeah, it's we played well. That, you know, if you use the ball well, sometimes you can defend with the ball in the hand, and you don't have to do as much work individually and collectively. And we're able to execute that tonight, and all of us fit into that and play different roles within that structure. So it was really pleasing. You know, we've still got areas to work on, as every team does. We're not the finished product yet, but there's some good little nuggets from tonight.
You've shown with your style of play this year, you've got some gears in terms of the way you play. Tonight, you averaged normally 86 marks, got up near 140. So there was obviously a distinct plan coming in with that one.
Look, to be honest, there actually wasn't. It was just sometimes the game, you know, flows in that direction, and we've been consciously trying to be a bit more tackling compared to how we played previously. But the space sort of enabled to maintain possession at times, and once we got on top, we're also conscious of there's only so many rotations per game. It's a long season, that if we can defend with the ball in hand, make GWS work up and down hard, it gives us an opportunity as long as we're still bringing the ball forward.
Through your eyes, because I said at three-quarter time you were delivering the ball beautifully going inside 50. Is it an easy job the way those two big forwards move?
100%. I think the best thing about playing with Tom, and I've played with Jez for a couple of years, but they just make you look good. You know, you just got to half sort of kick it well inside 50, and the big fellas do the rest, and they're pleasures to play with.
That's a ripper game, Danger, and the Cats back on the winners list, mate. Well done.
Thanks, mate.
Well done to Patrick Dangerfield. Thanks to Fox Footy for that interview. Return to the side, Patrick Dangerfield. Finished the game on the bench. You can understand why, with 28 disposals. Ben Cameron has all the other numbers before we get the votes in the ABC Footballer of the Year. Ben.
I'll give you the full summary. Geelong with 435 disposals, GWS 357 contested possessions. It was pretty even in there all day. +2 to GWS. The clearances 34 to 33 the way of GWS. Ground ball gets plus 11 in the end to Geelong. The inside 50s 61 to 43 the way of Geelong. The hit-outs, which David Mundy referenced, GWS 49 to 25, which, speaking back to the clearances, it was pretty even in there. Despite that discrepancy, the marks in the end 141 to 84 for Geelong. The marks inside 50, 15 to 7. Leading ball winners, Mitch Duncan with 33, Dangerfield with 28, Cumming with 29, Kelly with 27. In terms of metres gained, Isaac Cumming as well, 786 today. Very creative across half-back.
So the Cats, with their 5th win of the year, for the moment, they've jumped up into 5th. And as I mentioned before, a big percentage boost for them as well. They've gone from 118.5 to 126.3. Well, for the Giants, they remain stuck right down the bottom of the ladder. Only a couple of teams below them. One of them in action very shortly. Brisbane versus West Coast for our WA listeners. Everybody else off to the Bombers up against the Hawks. If you're on News Radio, you will be returning to normal programming in about 6 minutes' time. But let's get the votes. ABC Footballer of the Year. Who's taken responsibility? David Mundy, Shane Woewode. No, the point of the finger at you, Wowie.
It's always team effort. It's always a team effort.
It's always a team effort unless you don't get the votes right. And then on Monday...
We check Monday.
When you get them right, it's all Shane Woewode.
That's right.
I'll let you know too Monday when that's all right.
Coaches' votes are matching. Yep.
Oh, it's my favourite part of a Monday afternoon, the sledging that goes on. Yeah, exactly.
Look, honourable mention tonight to Tyson Stengel. He was a bit unlucky to miss, but I thought his pressure and what he created, and then getting licks of the ice cream going the other way was fantastic. But for tonight, the one, Jezza Cameron, with his 5 goals too, real potent up front early in particular, and was a real focal point for him. 2 to Mitch Duncan. We thought how he created and set up the play early, in particular in that first half where he was really dominant through that midfield area. Gets the 2, and Blitzarves with the 3 votes. You know, new role, just the flexibility he gives them all around the ground. But as a ruck tonight, although not winning the hit-outs, but his ground level was fantastic.
So Geelong by 53 points, 12-16-88 to the Giants 4-11-35. We'll do our best to see if we can get you the team song. Let's go down into the Cats' rooms. Here they go. Should be a couple of debutants in the middle. Indeed they are. Cooper Stevens and Mitch Nevitt. The Cats linking arms. Here they are. Not the most enthusiastic or emotional pub song, right? They sing it a bit, though, to be fair to the Cats.
Not a bad song, written by the great John K. Watts. Just very quickly, are they a better side with Blitzarves in the ruck? I mean, it seems as if they had a merry-go-round in the ruck for a long time, and then they've settled on Stanley seemingly in the last 12 months or so. But is it a better look that they get with Blitzarves in there? I know it robs them a little bit of what he does when he's not in there and he's playing down back, or he can go on a wing or whatever else it is, but are they?
Yeah, well, with Stanley inside even, he plays a lot of ruck minutes. They do a little rotation where Stanley takes the centre square, bounces and then ducks forward, and Blitzarves comes up and plays that ruck role. But he's won 21 of their 25 hit-outs tonight, so he's done okay there. He's generated 8 clearances himself, and we know what a aerobic running beast he is, and how that can really gap other ruckmen in the competition. I think it's a really good point of difference for them, and once the ball hits the deck, he provides them he's another midfielder, so he provides a lot of options.
Yeah. And he's smart. Set centre bounce tonight. He didn't jump. He just roved it, waiting for just watching opposition hands, and just a creative midfielder again at ground level.
Do you like that look better, Wowie?
I think it's horses for courses week in, week out, really. I just think what he aids to and the flexibility, can sit on a wing and drift back in behind the play or play as a defender. I think to have that flexibility is fantastic for him.
I'm wary of we don't have an awful lot of time, but it feels like it's coming to an end very quickly for Leon Cameron. Now at 2 and 6, it does feel like it's getting pretty abrupt.
Yeah, and the players don't look like they play with a lot of spirit and a lot of energy at the moment, and the season does slip away pretty quickly, and it's just whether or not he's losing them or the message is getting across, but slipperies.
I was just watching,
look at that.
Hot chips down in the Geelong rooms, watching on the monitor here.
Pies too.
Pies. I know it's cold. It's 9 degrees.
Wow.
Getting hungry.
I need to be down there in the rooms. That's my sort of diet.
Jezza Cameron's treat after every game that he gets himself is a packet of salt and vinegar chips. Apparently that's his thing. He'll sit down and eat it. Don't know how he goes with the hot chips, but...
David, what would the Freo dietitian think if you saw the hot chips and pies being laid out?
What did we have last night? We had some chicken mi goreng on the way out and some beef stroganoff waiting for us. So it's a little bit different.
Have a new request for next week. Come on. Not too big on that.
Just in the cans of Coke now.
Just watching Sam De Koning pick Evans. They've gone the hot chips. I'm sure Maybe they're air-fried and a bit healthier than I'd expect. But nevertheless, not what we were expecting to see. It is cold, though, in the capital. We understand that. The Giants terribly disappointing with that result. And the Cats, as we mentioned before, they're up into 5th. Good to see you again, David. Best of luck for the rest of the season. Hopefully we cross paths again in the grandstand box. Shane, as always.
Great to be here again.
Look forward to the sledging on Monday with the votes. Though I'm sure you've nailed them again. Ben Cameron, as always, great to have you on board. Listening to News Radio, New South Wales and the ACT, back to regular programming for you. If you're in WA, macabre fascination with this game coming up. What sort of effort will West Coast put in against the Lions? To the Gabatoir you head if you're in the West. For everybody else, Essendon up against Hawthorn. 5 late changes for the Bombers. What sort of impact will that have? The Hawks have had to make a late change too, but the Docklands, that should be a fascinating contest. Thanks for your company. The game at Marnica ending with another win for the Cats. They beat the Giants by 53 points. Speak to you all soon.